Beauty, Ozzy. All right, that's good. He threw the 5 though. Why is he throwing the 5? Good weight call too. Good weight call. All right. It's a 0. All right, Mark, go get your, go hold the broom for me. I'll throw it now. Go hold the broom for me now. Did me and Mark throw the 1 and the 2? I was like, why is he throwing the 5 and the 6? Oh, it's our fault. That makes sense. Oh, I'm not wearing my grip. All right, go back down there, guys. That's a good one. Go ahead. Just go throw 1. Just go throw 1. Ozzy. Hey, Jimmy. Real quick, make sure on your slides you slide through your shot, all right? Because you're standing up again. Make sure you slide through it. Better. Your weight calling's been great all practice, but it only helps if I can hear you, right? What's up? Back house. Yeah.
1 minute to the end of first practice.
Yeah. A little heavy. Good slide.
First practice is now over. Please prepare to throw your clockwise last stone draw.
Clockwise. All right, that's you, Ozzy. Yep. All right, you guys are sweeping now. Here, take this rock too. This is gonna be This is Jimmy's rock. Your last rock with the 6. Where were they? Your last one was back line.
So we can sleep again, right?
Yep.
Coaches, you should be leaving the ice, the field of ice. Please deliver your clockwise last stone draw.
Are you sure? Yep. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yep. Just here, guys, just here. Ah, shit. We overswept it, sorry, Ozzy. That was a good rock. We swept a little too much. Hey, I'm sorry. Don't listen to me next time. I know. Well, argue. Hey, just argue with me. If you think I'm wrong, tell me, okay? Because like you can't disobey me, but tell me if you think I'm wrong, okay? Be like, no, it's C-line. All right, you're throwing now, Jimmy.
Well, they have to measure.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we got some
down there.
time.
How have I been? How was I looking when I was doing that?
You're a little heavy on both of them, I think.
Yeah.
The last one was like back out, so it wasn't far off. Last time you threw.
I'll try to go lighter.
Yeah, just hair lighter, and your sweepers can help you out. So yeah.
Best.
This is a real good rock, Ozzy. Okay, this was Altus throwing clockwise.
How do you know that?
Altus.
Thank you. And who was throwing the counterclockwise?
Throwing clock is Williams. Weight only. Yep. It's a good one, guys. It's a real good one. Oh, baby. Hey, good weight call, guys. Good weight call. That is called a 0. 0 inches away.
Where we are?
We're done.
You stay?
We gotta let them measure that though. Yeah. Oh yeah, go grab your gripper.
I can't hear her through the glass. She's over there trying to give me signals and shit.
We have to get off the ice.
Oh.
What? Okay.
You guys are walking 6 inches away from the rock and swinging your brooms in the air. You risk getting your rock disqualified if you touch it.
Okay.
Okay, good. We got
Oh.
people on the end.
Yeah, they're still standing out there. Get off the ice.
Go out there and tell them.
I know, Ozzy just told them.
So this is cool. Watch this video.
So what's up?
They got the perpendicular pin set into the ice to measure the center. I don't know if they're doing it. They are?
Now run it into, there's a gap that we run the 2 totals in, and that'll tell you.
You've never seen that kind of
I've never seen that, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually wondering about that earlier. Yeah, they almost overslept it, but they got off at just the right time. Those were great. Yeah, yours was gonna be like back 4.
What? No.
It's gonna be on the T line, you think?
Yeah.
I didn't think we swept it that much, but yeah, we overswept yours for sure. That was a great rock.
I scared my shot was going to be,
But we got,
Covered the pin. It would have been off to the side of the
yeah, we got the next one right though.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get.
Maybe. They might cover the pin twice. Yeah.
It's got a fair chance at the least.
Yeah, I mean, we got hammered last time with worse shots, but
Someone saw a tiebreaker and Skip shot's tiebreaker and followed during the 4th thrower
yeah,
because the first 3 covered the pin.
yeah. I mean, that was kind of like when I got into that tiebreaker against Edie and Eric, and I was like, all right, well, we've done great to tie this game up and come back. What do we got?
1, then 3 through 8. 1 is a cutter, so John's second one's 1 more cutter. 2, 1, 3 through 8.
So everybody's normal. John's just throwing his reverse order.
John, I don't know if anyone else told you multiple times when you're shooting 2, then 1.
Yeah.
I saw them both talk to him like, oh.
Where am I even going?
T.
I think I hogged her.
Did you not get her done? I'll get this one.
Somewhere in the
Alright,
darkness,
so you're shooting out
there's a
turn right here.
man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming of gold. There's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep. Dreaming of gold, dreaming dreaming of gold. just before the sun does, even though he'd rather stay in bed.
All right.
Curses the cold in Minnesota. Why's it always so damn cold? He's got a job to do. Does it for me and you. And the red and the white and the blue. Because he knows he's got the curl. Because he knows he's got the curl. His team is there and ready. Though the coffee's warm, their breath hangs in the air. They hit the ice. No one's there to see it. There's no press or paparazzi. That's okay. But it'd be nice if someone noticed that they've all been working hard, pushing these rocks around, trying to gain some ground. Got to keep the Canadian style, and all they gotta do is curl. Oh yeah, I know I got to curl. Come on, baby, put the rock in your house. Come on, baby, put the rock in the house. Come on, baby, put the rock in the house. Come on, baby, put the rock in the house. Their lives outside are waiting, but they give until they've given all they have. Dead on their feet. Skipper isn't certain, but he thinks that maybe this could be the year when they defeat the world forever and they bring that medal home. Now it seems years away. He's taking it day by day. When it comes, he'll be ready to play because he knows he's got the curl. Because he knows he's got the curl. Somewhere in the darkness, there's a man they call the skipper, fast asleep, dreaming of gold.
Good evening from St. Paul, Minnesota. We're at the St. Paul Curling Club. I'm here with my friend Scott Belvich, ice maker extraordinaire from Cheska Curling Center.
Hi.
How's it going, eh?
Yeah, super good. Thanks for having me once again.
Thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure. We're here at the draw 2 of the West Junior Challenge round. So 4 men's teams and 5 women's teams will be coming out of this draw or this event. We'll do a quick rundown of the first draw of where the folks are, who's won and who lost.
It's coming up right now.
Yeah, let me just type it into my computer.
Dad, hurry down there. I'll get those.
If you don't already know, from various websites available to you.
Yeah, I think we're on Curling Zone. We're on TESN. We're on USA Curl. All right, so on the men's side, Fenson. Okay, well, now we'll go to women's. Bear, Normandow, Okay, now we're going to do the men's.
Goes too fast.
It's too fast. Fenson, Slusser, Stopera, Thompson were winners for the men.
Yes, and they all played very well. Very good games that happened during those.
And then
first
Bear,
draws.
Normandow, Podell, running all won.
Yeah, Normandeau. Very well.
Thank you for the correction. See, Scott knows everybody here. I can point somebody out there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know that person."
Well, and typical winners in most of those games, quite frankly.
Had a 420. Light up.
All right, so we're still doing the second second team's practice out here. So this is Team Moore from Mapleton and Duluth. Coach is still out there.
Coaches are with him, and they're throwing typically about 4 feet of ice. Skips are holding about, or thirds are holding about 4 feet of ice for the last shot draw. Ice is playing fantastic from what we've seen so far. I'm sorry, am I there?
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. And I think we should see a lot of great shots tonight, because it's going to be tough to hide too much when you've got a good 4 foot of curl. And speedy ice, they're calling for 4-second draws on a split time, which relates to a solid 25-second ice, which is great ice for these guys to play on.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was going to say it either way. I had that all figured out.
Here's yours and Eric's gripper.
Very similar to arena ice in what we see nowadays. So this is going to be a fun game to watch, and there's going to be 7 other games that are going to be fantastic as well.
Yeah, lots of activity.
No.
I really like this guy's
Get Derek.
plaid shirt or flannel shirt.
Hurry up and get Derek.
I told him that when I
So you
gave
can
him the
get back
mic. He wasn't very
that
happy to
Eric's
hear
other
it.
one?
They lost against DePera's rink in the previous end, or the previous draw.
Hey, Derek.
Previous draw,
It was a
yeah.
tight.
That
It
was
was a
top 12. That's good.
Apparently he's a coach? No.
it's DePera?
No, the plaid shirt guy.
No, that's not the
Kinda.
coach. That's the skip.
Oh, that's
That's
skip.
Josh Moore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm okay. And
all right.
that's the game we're
Why
calling.
did he get the
It is. It is. As they say in Ireland.
All right, just tone her down a little bit.
So we have to clarify the Altus
That's a
rink
two-rock.
that we're going to be calling. They'll be throwing red rocks. They're from San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club.
Okay, where?
Daniel Altus, otherwise known as
Zevi.
Zevi,
Yep.
playing with Marcus Zongby, who is vice. Jimmy
Williams.
Williams, thank you, second. And Jason Altus playing
Jason
lead.
Ozzy Altus.
Yeah, otherwise known as Ozzy. So if we refer to Daniel and Jason as Zevi and Ozzy, you'll know who we're talking about. And the Moore rink, Mr.
Josh
Lindsay?
Moore is the skip. Eric Yeager is the vice skip. Derek Moore is the second. And John Harstad is the lead.
Do you think those guys have nicknames?
I do. I think Eric Yeager probably goes by Mick. I'm guessing.
Okay, I'm buying into that. I like J Moore and D Moore.
Yeah. J Moore, Mick, and D Moore.
Ooh.
We just lost 3 viewers.
Wait
It's
only.
probably because of me.
There's more of that to come, folks.
Wait only.
Yeah. Last shot draws are coming down for second practice.
Line's good. Line's good. Yep.
Yeah, the Altus rink got it pretty much right on the button.
Off,
They
off,
did.
off.
And here comes Moore's shot.
Nothing. Easy, guys.
How did this?
Just into the back 8. It's hard to stop that rock. It's quick ice tonight.
Yep.
And carrying very, very well.
D. Yep. You got it right. Yeah, we definitely got to make sure any teams are going to post. We got to make sure we leave those till the last second.
So, Scott, before we get started,
Easy.
I don't know if you know, but this is a junior event, and there's an alcohol-free policy, and all the athletes, obviously they're younger, so they're not going to have alcohol, but they have to do these random tests, and all the officials can't drink for the 3 days, and the coaches can't drink. Well, the head official just came by, and she told me beforehand, as the head of the crew here, that had to designate one member of the curling, the commentating squad to do a random alcohol test, and I designated you.
Okay.
So you need to take this little piece of paper and you need to put it in your mouth.
Okay. Really?
Yep. And you have to hold it for 5 seconds.
I don't have to blow into anything.
Nope,
It's
just a little. It's just a little. It's
litmus.
it's like a litmus test. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks just like a litmus paper. Okay,
All
here
right.
we go. Ready?
Yep.
And
1,
boom.
3, 4, 5. All right, now you got to shake it. Shake it. You
Shake
should-
it.
All right. Now
Okay,
let's look
so
at
what
it.
does Eric usually throw compared to
Oh,
Derek?
it's a boy. Congratulations. No, you passed. You're clean.
I am
Just-
clean.
Excellent.
If he's here, you
It's
guys
good to
can
have a
go
clear
little
mind.
further. Don't
Yep.
give him a time.
Yeah.
that's-
It's a
See,
good
give him a time that's-
it's a good precedence to set. You know, like we're leaders for the youth.
Right. Well, I'm glad I could do that for everybody so that they could pass because the guy actually running the show here, what's this guy's name over here?
Adam
brother?
Height.
Oh, Adam
Height
Height,
is
yeah.
the technical wizard behind all of this.
Yeah, I think he may have a problem with the litmus test, but perhaps not.
We do have some technical problems this broadcast. We're not going to be able to show the scores of the other games because I don't know there's something was messed up. So we had to manually type in this team, but we'll give you guys updates. If you're watching on YouTube, you could give us a chat, and we will oblige as soon as possible, as long as there's no politics talk. Because last time we got into talk about politics and it was not good.
Politics, as in the Trump whole thing, or
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
We
Yeah.
didn't really get into
No,
it.
we
We
don't.
resisted that.
Wyoming.
No. It's curling. Nobody's gonna die. Everything
Yep.
will be fine.
Ooh, look at the coats on
Sheet 8.
Sheet 8.
Sheet 8 tonight will have the Fenson versus Thompson rinks playing against one another, which from what I understand is a tremendous rivalry, and those two teams will be going at it left and right and throwing blows mightily to gain the victory. And as well on Sheet 1, we have a gals game, the Podell Kitchens game. Sheet 2 will feature the Page Normandu game. Normandu did win their first game today, so this is a very important 2-0 start for them if they can get off to that as a local team. Sheet 3 is Bear and Traxler, also a gals game. And the final gals game on Sheet 4 is Quello and Running. Two teams that have been around for quite some time as junior curlers and should show some good shot making in that game. Again, our featured game is the Altus Moore game on Sheet 5, known as the TV sheet here in St. Paul.
Show sheet. It's the show sheet.
The show sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the mics skipped, although Zevi, Josh, he wasn't sure if he was. They might rotate the mic around, so that should be exciting.
Do you want to let them know who's on Sheet 6, 7?
Sure.
We already talked about 8 being
Yeah,
the big Fenson Thompson game.
I do appreciate you giving me a bone. I got to do something around here, right? Slosar, number 6 is Slusar and Stopera. I think they both won. I know Stopera did. Yep, they both won, so somebody is going to be undefeated after that. And Perry and Clausen on Sheet 7. I know Clausen got. They both were defeated. So
Right, so that's a big game as well. They're going to be looking to get into that win column as fast as they can, being that this is a 7-game round robin.
that seems like a lot of curling. Holy cow! Like 10 end games, and then 2 today, 3 tomorrow, and 2 possibly more on Friday.
That's right.
I'd
Is
be-
a lot of
I'd
curling.
be tuckered, but Pete told me, he said these guys are all young. They can do it.
Absolutely. They're ready to go. They're excited. They're all smiling. They're staying loose and happy.
Colin just walked by, Colin Simpson. His kids are listening to this, so I'm supposed to give them a hard time. So, Colin's kids, consider that I've given you a hard time.
I always enjoy watching the officials on the ice for events like this. They're very stoic. very stern.
Yeah,
Not
Mark.
saying I'm out of it, but I
While the
totally
players
know
are
it's
all
best to say
enjoying
that.
themselves, and usually the ones to call any penalties that they may incur upon themselves, the officials
Mark
have
was
a
good.
very
We
important
all did a good
important
job the first
role
game.
here.
I didn't
And I
actually
think it
say
might just be to look
farming
stern
because
and
starving sucks.
Well,
important.
you know, U.S. Curling did provide jackets to the lead officials, so you'll notice that there are fancy dark colored jackets, and I've heard that on the inside of those jackets there's a special spray coating which will suck the life out of the officials so that they look stern.
God, I love doing commentating with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any smiles on
No,
these guys.
none of them tend to smile. Even when they're talking to the young kids, you know, it's.
But isn't that kind of the role of an official, to be like really, official looking?
Well, I don't know. I see guys in the, you watch some pro sports and
Yeah.
NFL, NHL. You know, those guys chat it up with the players and they laugh and kind of
Yeah.
enjoy themselves until there is an important decision to make. But in curling, typically the players make the important decisions and the
Yeah.
officials just okay that.
Well, you did miss out the last draw. There was an official came out and interacted because they had a substitute, and the lead on the team from Alaska had a groin pull,
That means,
and
like,
so
hold on.
the substitute came in,
Alright, guys.
but she brought her
Just like
own
last
broom
game,
in,
one rock at a time.
and so then
Keep going.
the officials came out and
Yeah.
told her she had
We
to
got
use
this.
the
We
other
know we
broom.
can make the shots, right?
Okay.
We can
Well,
make
and
all the
rightfully
shots.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the player probably should have known that on their own.
Yeah, actually, the other team didn't know what the heck was going on. We heard them on the mic. We didn't know what was going on either. I didn't really know that you could substitute like that, but I mean, it makes sense if someone gets hurt. No, but the official comes out and she says, "Well, you can't. This isn't like the NBA. You can't just change players. You can't have a substitute.
Right.
We have to fill out paperwork."
Oh,
Which they had a clipboard with paperwork, so they filled it out.
yeah. Well, document everything, right? That's
Yeah.
what they say these days.
Yep.
Document everything.
Cross
because
those
you never
I's,
know.
dot those T's.
That's right. Due diligence. It's important. So we're getting very close to the start of the game. So if anybody's listening, how many viewers do we have, Chris?
40 viewers.
Ooh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And is it Christopher? Do you prefer? Or
Doesn't
Chris?
matter, either one.
Okay. Rainy Lake guys?
Call me Raleigh. That's my middle name.
Ooh, I like it.
I don't know if I'd answer to it, but
And the
Oh.
first stone is being cast by the Moore Rink. And I think they're going right into the house right away to make that Altus rink decide on what they want to do with it. Very nice curl on that rock. Back 8. Fine shot.
3.
And they'll go with the corner guard.
so Ozzy is Jason Ozzy Altus.
They're going from the outside in for the corner guard, which is kind of interesting. They might see that this will curl more than they care to, and they could possibly leave a center guard for the Moore rink that does not have hammer.
Take it in, take it in, take it in.
Yeah, that's going to draw right down there.
Take it, guys. Yeah, go, go, go. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it worked out okay,
Good save,
actually.
guys.
Right here. If we catch this, that's fine. Control.
What else is happening in the world of curling this weekend is there's a pretty big event going on up at the Four Seasons Curling Club as well.
That's right, the Asham U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm. Very good teams playing there as well as here.
Is your team?
And he rips that out. It doesn't quite get the Altus Red Rock out. I'm sorry, the Moore Red Rock out.
It
But
looked like it was hanging, right.
Yeah, I don't like it when ends start this way when I'm.
sorry, I was wrong. It is the Altus Red
Yep,
Rock. So
yes.
they have an opportunity to sit 2 here early in the end.
Yep.
I don't know if our audio and video are
Yep.
in sync, but our video is
Yep.
that we have here is very delayed.
All right. Good rock, Ozzy. Bad ice.
I'm kind of delayed too, actually. So
I know it's probably because you passed that test.
Control.
The pizza here at St. Paul is really good.
fantastic.
They have very good pizza. I had a muffaletta pizza, which is my favorite.
A little bit of everything on there.
Yeah, it's got olives and those peppers. And so, I think that's Mick.
Moore's leads second rock. John makes a fine hit, rolls
Josh.
towards the center.
Linda did this. It's her handwriting.
Lead John Harstead is what I was referring to.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Once again, you know what you're talking about.
Well,
So tomorrow night,
Perhaps
you're
it
going to be here again at 7. And
I hope
Carl is joining us.
that will be fantastic, yes. The first rock for Team Altus from Jimmy Williams. Looking to draw that 8-foot.
All right.
And it is quick. A lot of rocks in the back of the house. We see across most of the sheets.
Yeah, we noticed that in the first draw was really fast.
Players will adapt quickly to that, though.
Yep.
Derek Moore coming out for Team Moore. I assume Derek and Josh are brothers. I'm sorry, I don't know that for sure.
D. Moore.
Whoa.
Nice delivery by that young man.
All the way. Good sleep. Nice shot here.
And they've split the house successfully.
T-line. 7.
The Altus rink looking for Jimmy. I believe this is Jimmy's last. Looking to draw down on top of that Moore rock that's behind the tee line to set up a possible 2 or more. Line looks pretty good, but possibly a bit heavy. What do you think, Chris?
Well, it is kind of moving out there, though. I think it's going to tap that out.
Oh.
It'll be fine.
Definitely got some nice movement to it, and I think you're exactly right. He did just that. Tapped him out, sits 1.
Same thing. Control.
Into thirds rocks here. This is Eric Yeager for Team Moore. Throwing a control weight hit. Rock curled pretty well. Comes across the house, taps the other, but they still sit 2.
So would you draw to that, or would you hit it out?
It's a decision he's going to have to make. That's a good question. I think with 2 back there, my first instinct would be to draw to it because you have 2 catchers or 2 rocks to back a possible hit and jam versus just the 1. So that is exactly what they're doing. And this would be Mark
Sogby.
Sogby. The Vice for Team Altus coming down again.
Well, guys, well.
Nice weight, back house weight. He's going to probably do
Little
the
heavy,
same
heavy.
thing that Jimmy did and tap it back and kind of bounced over and left it open.
Yeah, they'll probably get to try that again.
Control. Throw the same weight. I'll give you a touch more.
see we got some nice sponsorships up on the walls
Yup.
here. St.
Yup.
Paul Curling Club. Your
Hard.
typical
John.
USCA sponsors.
All the way. All the way.
Nice to see them up on the walls, as always.
Terry from USA Curling wanted me to remind everybody to go to the USA Curling website, because if they get 40,000 clicks by the time the year ends, they get a big grant from the U.S. Olympic Committee.
Well,
I told him that I could probably write a program that would, I wouldn't have to tell anybody. It would just work.
Don't tell the Olympic Committee that.
Yeah.
I think Altus is making a good decision here and throwing a hit on these back three that Moore is sitting. However, the young man has come out a little bit wide, but it still worked out.
Yeah, you got two.
Right here?
Two
I
out.
think. It's hard to
That
tell
over
that.
here. Yeah, you want to throw it here? Okay. I don't mind that.
It looks like they're going to split the house, the Moore rink, to sit two and force one versus try to guard their shot rock in the back 12. Kind of a conservative
4-5.
play to start the game, but smart
I don't know what
nonetheless.
you're doing. You're kind of like starting it pretty good, like right out of your hand. And like we ain't ones to be throwing a lot of handle, so it just took off. Yeah, you're fine. Just even just like a touch of a start with a lazy handle, just yeah. What I mean. 4 or 5. Good.
I would have thought that these guys here in the regionals would have had to have matching uniforms or
Just support. Just
something
support.
like
Yep.
that. I know that's kind of one thing that USA prides itself on. Apparently, a lot of these kids have chosen to kind of do their own fashion statements. I like
It
it.
did look like a dive.
I don't see that many different uniforms. I mean, these guys do,
So he's gonna try to curl like a dive.
but they're from California. I mean that.
I was like, whoa, we got
But I don't see most other teams have a uniform on.
Try to come
Most
right
do,
behind
I guess. Yeah, the Moore rink is a little.
Both sides of this side, Moore and Altus, they both have different deals going on, and I approve. I've already commented that I really like that
Alright,
farming
try to
shirt.
draw in right behind the one they just put up.
Well, and curling is very much a farming sport.
Oh, really?
No, well,
trying to
from
draw
its
behind it.
inception, into
That's gonna be a
its
problem.
time moving into Canada, the United States, it was played by many farmers because they had plenty of time in the wintertime to enjoy the game and let their field sit. So if you look back at the history of the game and some of the great teams that have been around since the 40s, 50s until today, I bet you would find a lot of farming
What do you guys think?
history to those teams.
Well, that's fascinating. If it's true, that's great.
It is true.
Yep.
Alright.
Thank you guys. Yep. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, what's happening now? Well, they're going to tap him back, and
Yeah.
that Moore rink is looking
I think they were looking for the draw, but didn't quite get
solid
there.
for two. I believe they're going to probably draw the
Gotta go right here.
that center, bite the 8-foot, and force that draw into the 4 for 1.
There's so much help.
More to their back
How was it? Did I hit the
On
roof?
and not be full.
yellow rock that sits in the back 8-12 area.
Alright.
This is a pretty standard call and a good one by the Josh Moore rink. All
I
about
didn't call
execution,
anything. I
right?
mean, you gotta take that up with Jimmy and Ozzy.
I guess so.
We're gonna
I think it's 95% sweeping.
Well, we'll work it out.
yeah.
No, not really. But that when I miss a shot, that's what I always blame it on.
But we can't be
Sure,
full,
well,
else they can get shot out of
the other night I was playing a game and
Even
threw a rock that was kind of important, and my teammate swept it all the way down the ice and kind of
Right through?
went through the house. And one of my friends asked me afterward what happened. I said, well, they swept it all the way, but it was still too heavy. Just couldn't understand that.
Alright, he's on
I
break.
didn't finish, Eric.
Here we go.
Weight's good.
This is a good looking rock by Mr. Moore. I think it's going to get into the 4 foot possibly, which might leave them a simple hit and stay for 1.
Well, I
But
got
at
it
least it
anyway.
forces them to their 1.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Let's hit it.
just fine.
Do you know, like,
We
technically,
need to
like,
to
if you're
score. So control. You're right here. Control weight.
if you're sweeping and you touch the rock, you burn the rock, right? If you touch it, if something falls off of you and it touches the rock, does that count as a burn?
That is correct, yes.
What happens if you're sweating?
It's just a hit and stick.
That's a good question. I think you'd have to maybe divulge that to the other team or the other
Control
skip
eight.
that he had a couple.
Yeah.
Like, you could
droplets.
sweat in front of the rock. You know, shake your head a little bit.
I think if it's intentional, then that's obviously bad form, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I was once curling in Wausau and had a
Yep.
having an enjoyable piece of gum,
Whoa.
probably Wrigley
Stay
or
close, guys.
something like that, and
Whoa.
was sweeping a
Whoa.
rock vigorously into the house and actually had that piece of gum. Oh, fine shot by Mr. Altus here. Let's
Yep.
talk about what's important. That would
Hits
be
it, sticks
Zevi.
it. Yeah, Zevi makes the shot.
Zevi makes an important shot for 1.
Yeah, 1 point.
Start the game. It's a good thing they did not roll out there. They would have given up 2. Fine shot by Daniel Zevi Altus to get this first end completed. But yes, I did have a piece of gum and hit the rock, and I divulged it and pulled the rock myself while everyone was trying to make a long, drawn-out decision
Hold up,
in an
hold up,
important
hold up. They
men's Wausau quarterfinal game, maybe, or who knows?
Did it
what
make a
was.
difference?
I know we won the game anyway.
Nice. So you kept your honor and you won.
Yeah, I think it was, the gods looking down upon the right decision to make.
But, like,
So did it land on the ice or just on the top of the rock?
Hit the top of the rock and bounced onto the ice and
well, and the thing is-
scattered
the thing is,
about.
too, like, when we come back here, like, yeah, I mean,
So I think that's karma, right? I
like,
think
the thing is, like,
there's
if-
curling
when
karma.
teams actually wanna
So a
beat
couple
us, they'll
scores, it
put
looks
score,
like on sheet
I
1.
mean, I'll say, well, that's fine. Something like that is like,
Podol versus Kitchens. Podol's up 2-0. Sheet 2, Page versus Norman Doe.
Norman Dew.
Norman Dew. Norman Dew scored 4, so they're up 4-0. It looks like. No score
Are
in
we
sheet
in?
3 yet.
No, but I think it is.
Sheet 4
I don't think it matters
is
what I want.
about to be
No, just leave it.
played.
They're hanging it right
All right.
now.
Quello scores 2
hey,
over running.
control.
We're 1-0. In sheet 6,
Nope,
no
fine.
score. Sheet 7, I can't see. There's a bar in the way.
Sheet 6 blank the first end.
Can you see what's going on in sheet 7?
In sheet 7,
Perry Clausen.
Yep,
Perry game.
yep.
Can't quite see. I believe there's 2 for the Yellow Rocks, which I think is Clausen.
That's
no,
correct.
it's a blanked end also. I'm sorry.
All right, and then sheet 8, Fenson and Thompson.
don't worry
It looks
about it.
like Fenson is up
3.
2-0 after the first.
And that, folks, is almost like a Packers-Vikings game on sheet 8.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
3.
Wow. All right.
That is going to be blow to blow all night long.
I hope that the commentary is better than the Packer Vikings game.
I do too, especially if Joe Buck was doing it.
Oh, Joe Buck and Aikman. God, Aikman just
Good line.
loves Packers quarterback. Oh my gosh.
Okay, here we go. We have the Leeds second rock
Yeah.
for Team
Yep.
Altus coming down.
Far as it'll go, guys.
That
Far as
would
it'll go.
be
Yep, yep,
Ozzy
All right,
Altus.
that's good.
Yep.
Good rock.
And
Good
we
suit,
can
guys.
see why they maybe call him Ozzy. He's got the long hair and the cat hat, and he
See, wait, it's okay.
kind of even looks like a young Ozzy Osbourne, doesn't he?
Well, I tell you what, that second set of eyes on his forehead certainly remind me of Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes, agreed.
Wait only.
And
Get
the
here if you need it.
seconds rock. I'm sorry, the Leeds second rock for
Whoa.
Team Moore. John,
You can finish it if you need to.
Harstead.
But he looks heavy.
here it comes.
Hard.
Yeah,
stuff.
we're not.
Kind
getting
of hard
over
for
it.
us to see
I was
the
landing
near
here.
house here.
Okay.
How'd it go? How'd you do?
Swept it right through.
Oh.
Just missed.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank
3-4.
you.
3-4.
What's that guy's name again that's kind of helping us out over here?
He goes by Adam Ozzy Height.
Adam Height. He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you for turning the screen so we can see what's
Okay,
going on.
whoa.
Did we mention that Altus, their team is from the Bay Area, San Francisco?
We did when we started the game. Probably haven't been curling real long. The San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. I
Okay.
would love to know how long they've been curling. I'm sure, or I'm assuming. Never be too sure. about
Must be
anything.
fast on that side. Or the ice is tilted.
Well, I think it's probably picking up here in the second end, but the probably playing on hockey ice. They're probably not too used to dedicated ice, unless they've gotten out in Bonspiel a little bit in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's interesting that the West region, it's kind of like, the NBA. It goes Mississippi all the way out to California. Whew,
That's right.
a lot of area.
That's right. And this is a new format, as most of you probably do know. Used to be state championships from Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin.
It's a pretty nice draw.
The states out east, and then the USCA decided to go with a regional. So this is where we sit with 8 men's and 8 women's teams in the West Regional. The East Regional, which was to happen out, I believe, Potomac area, perhaps.
Was it Potomac?
I can't remember.
I was thinking it was Pennsylvania, but I don't know.
Perhaps it was. I can't really remember. But that ended up not happening because of just a few teams signing up. So those teams that did sign up to go to the East Regions will go directly to Junior National Championships, and the top
All right.
4 men's teams and 5 women's teams out of here will go.
Yep.
How much of it can you feed?
I like the Stopera rink, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be right in the mix of things in the final 4 teams. They're playing on sheet 6, even though they blanked the first end.
He seems like he's a pretty calm player, which I think is a good sign.
Yeah, those young guys have been playing in cash spiels around the area in the upper Midwest, and perhaps even in a couple in Canada. I'm not sure, but
Yep. John, go.
I think they're very calm and
Whoa.
understanding about what their capabilities are and what they need to do to win.
Go.
Nice.
Shot here.
Draw right to it.
The Moore rink is stacking them up in the forefoot. This is looking positive for them. They're behind a guard. And frankly, with the hammer, the Altus rink probably should be clearing that red guard out. He's going to try and throw a hack weight hit. I'm not sure that's going to do him a lot of good in the long run, as this Moore rink is figuring out draw weight quite well.
We got a whole bunch of information about Zevi and crew coming in on the YouTube feed.
Awesome.
Yeah, as soon as this
This looks like a pretty darn good shot, as it turns out.
beauty.
But we do have a jam,
Nice
and
shot, Mark.
give that opportunity for the Moore rink to throw in top 4 under that guard again.
Here, let me read this information. So Rebecca Clark said that Zevi and company have been out of Arizona for their Bonspiels. And Zevi and company have been to the Coyotes Clearing Club for all 3 5 and unders, plus at least 1 or 2 others a year. And in 2014, they won the first 5 and under event there. So there you go.
Fantastic.
Have you ever been to the Coyotes Curling Club in Arizona?
I have not gotten there yet, unfortunately. But I'd
If I
love
sign
to
us
do
up
that.
for a Bonspiel, will you go?
I am in, like, who?
Great. Are you a good sweeper?
Flynn?
Jaeger, go. If you
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
I'm a great sweeper.
Great.
Yeah, I can sweep a rock all the way through the house.
Excellent. Wow.
Again, that Moore rink,
Yeah, he's got his draw weight down,
getting their
right?
draw weight down, but they are behind the tee line, so the Altus skip here, Mr. Zevi, Daniel Altus, is going to make a decision here about tapping that one back lightly. Trying to keep moving him out with a little more weight, which it looks like his call is hack. So here comes Mark. His vice. A nice shot down the line.
Whoa!
Perhaps a little more than hack, but it is moving quite well. Can I get a piece?
Just missed.
Oh, unfortunately. A little heavy weight there.
We're done here.
Just a little more weight than he
Could
could.
have carved that in there. I mean, if you were sweeping.
No, that whole directional sweeping thing is kind of comical to me, but seems like they're still doing a bit, but they talk about being about half a rock now instead of 4 feet plus. So still calling the hold it out or make a draw, but from what I understand, it's
He's
about
just
a
gonna
half a rock.
pile another one in there.
Oh, absolutely. This could spell a lot of trouble for the Altus rink if
Right here, guys. 6.
he sits in there at the top 12. He's
Yep.
a nice looking shot here. The miss obviously is a nice high guard, and or come right down to it, and he's thrown a very, very nice shot. Some good shot. The ice is really keen right
Second
now.
one, you were a little heavy,
Playing
but
great.
I should have given
What
you
exactly
more
does that mean that the ice is keen?
I'd say fast.
Yeah, if you have a recommendation, you can tell me. I might say no. But
True as well. They're holding brooms where they want, and rocks are ending where they wish them to be, and that's a great sign.
Oh, we're up to 50 viewers. 50.
Holy
The
moly.
50th viewer is going to get a free St. Paul Curling Club T-shirt.
And a Chaska Curling Club pin.
Nice.
Send
Right.
in your information right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try to run that yellow one.
And the proof that you're the 50th.
Actually,
Well,
look,
don't we have that proof?
Well, yeah.
Skips rocks. Here we go. Zevi throwing Skip's first rocks, as he does not have the hammer. It's coming down with a similar hack weight, hopefully call. And
It's a little heavier, right?
a little, obviously looks like about a normal weight, but
It's
in
got
a
to come over.
good
It's got to
line.
come over. Well, we got one.
Peel it out. He's forcing him to make a good shot. He just needs to come down to that top four. Would be perfect for
Because
him.
I want to tuck it in. I feel like you guys.
I just need to take a breath before that one.
Full 8, top 4 would be a very nice shot for the Moore rink here.
So I mean, I'd rather be here.
So one of our listeners, Joel Calhoun, suggests that perhaps we should give a free beer for the 50th listener.
We can do that.
But the problem is then we won't. See, it just dropped to 48. That person just turned off their web stream, and they're going to come down here for a beer.
Maybe there's two guys watching together, and they're going to go, well, let's just keep going 48-50, 48-50. We'll keep getting free stuff.
Oh, now it's 47. Oh,
It's getting worse.
what can you do? No accounting for taste.
I remember during the cash spiel, though, I sent you guys beers while you were
Whiskeys.
commentating
You sent whiskeys.
from 34 miles away.
Yeah, I said something like, if anybody can send me a whiskey, it's Scott Belvich. He can do it.
The junior spiel here. Anyway, Josh Murrick is throwing in. He has thrown definitely guard weight at to top house, which is a nice weight to have. Boy, it's really carrying. He got that right down into the full four.
That is nice.
That's a
Nice
good
grouping.
shot. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering if I can get the triple.
I left this thing down here.
I don't think.
God no.
I throw like control at it. I'm gonna try
I do
that.
have
So my
mics
chances
on
of
the
getting double are good.
Altus and Moore rinks, and
I'm gonna try
Zevi
to
is
control.
thinking
I'm
he
gonna try to get-
perhaps
the
might
double
be able to
because
make a
double
triple
down.
here.
Ice right here. Quarter of the button. Quarter of the button. No, because we have to get
It is
around the guard.
possible.
What do you suppose
Right?
this
We have
hat
to
says?
get around this guard up here.
some sort of soccer hat.
It's definitely not an Oakland A's hat. These guys are from the Bay Area. I'd love to go to an Oakland A's game sometime.
All right.
Is that the one where they have the rally monkey?
Two's good, three's a party.
Remember the Twins played? Or was that the Angels? I think that was the Angels.
That might have been the Angels. All I know is they
Heavy control.
every time I see a game that happens in Oakland, it just looks like a ton of fun. The folks out there just support that team wonderfully and have a lot of fun during the games. And
Be a little more.
And the Bay Area is a great, great area. So it'd be super fun to be a part of that sometime. I just got to make it happen, right? We got to go out there.
Sounds good. World Tour.
Here comes
Whoa, guys.
Zevy's final
not much,
rock.
Not much handle on that.
Yep.
It's moving off that center line, but it looks pretty
Whoa.
darn good. Boom. And
Mark, on the side.
Yeah.
You gotta sweep that.
That's a tough triple to try to make. Tough double even with those rocks stacked up. Looks like it's going to leave the Moore rink a free draw for 3. I should have brought my stopwatch.
We needed to hit a little.
I can run down to my locker and grab mine.
Yeah, you can get some
Really thought I
times
could
on
get
this
to it.
ice. It
All right,
really looks
well,
like it's playing
you know.
fantastic. I'm thinking we're getting up there 25 plus.
It's not a game
Do you know how to use an iPhone?
Barely. I'm a droid kind of guy. But
Oh, I see here that Carl Ball just tweeted out that Mr. Belvich's commentary is top notch. No comment about me, but that's okay.
here it comes. He's got some backing. He's throwing 2, so he didn't want to be late. This looks like a great shot. Tap that back. Sit 3. Well done by the Moore rink.
Yeah, they really had their weight dialed in.
They did. They took advantage of that guard up there and threw some very nice draws. Second, third, and skip Josh. 3-1 after 2 on sheet 5 here at the St. Paul Curling Club.
Yeah, let's cruise around the rinks to see if I can butcher some more names. So sheet 1, Podol versus Kitchens. It looks like Podol's up 2-0, and they're into the third end. And sheet 2, which is Page versus
Normandu
Normandu. It looks like they're 4-1. Normandu is up.
with Hammer starting the third.
Sheet 3 is Bear versus Trexler, and it looks like Trexler's up 2-0.
Starting the third, they might not have hung that score in the second, so we'll see what happens there. We'll update you soon. Sheet 4.
Sheet 4 is Quello versus Running. And, once again, we're getting the live scoring. Oh, they blanked the second, so Quello's up 2-0. And sheet 5, we just said, is 3-1 for Moore. Sheet 6 is Slusar versus Stupera. And that looks like it's 1-0.
They are playing to the center of the ice in this end here in the third on that sheet 6 with
Give me a guard,
Stopera, and this is
Ozzy.
going to be a exciting end to watch. If you can see that, you might be able to on that.
Could we?
web
Maybe we
feed
could
a
switch
little
it to the far camera. We'll take a look at sheet 6 here.
bit. Would be kind of interesting.
Oh,
to
there we
see
are. It's
how
on the
this-
left-hand side there.
Yeah,
3.
and that's a 1-0 game playing the third.
Yep.
Sheet 7, the Clausen.
Yeah, sheet 7 is Perry versus Clausen. I can't see the score because there's posts in the way.
Kind of reminds me of Hibbing sometimes.
Yeah. Couldn't we
Look
put in
up!
like glass
Look up!
block or something?
All right, I got it, guys. I got it.
They are playing the third, and it looks like it is 1-0
Yep.
for Red Rocks, who have on sheet 7. I'm not sure who's throwing red.
Perry.
Perry's throwing red.
And then sheet 8, it looks like that's they blanked the second end, so it's 2-0 Fenson.
It'd be the Bears-Packers game on sheet 8.
Now it's the Bears Packers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's the true rivalry from what I understand, but we'll say it's the Vikings. It's going to be a battle on sheet 8. I'm telling you guys right now that If you are anywhere near the St. Paul Curling Club at this time, you should be down here to watch a couple of these games, and Sheet 8 is one of them.
6.
So where are we at in our game now? We have the Moore rink stacking them up in the 4-foot and 8-foot as they are up 3-1, making the Altus rink deal with those rocks. And Zevi is calling for a soft weight hit on one of those two. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong about that.
It looks like it's
He's
some
calling,
sort of a guard.
he's looking for a draw
Yeah, that's
under
what we
his
like, guys. All right,
guard, but
all
it
right.
really curled hard. Ozzy's having a little tough time with the weight. I like his Nike curling shoes, though. Ozzy's. You see those babies?
I did notice those shoes, yeah.
Those are sweet.
So do you think did he get like the bottoms put on, or does Nike make curling shoes?
No, I'm 99% sure he had the some kind of Teflon bottom put on, perhaps at Asham, perhaps at Gold Line.
So you can send it to Asham or Goldline and they'll do that for you?
Oh, absolutely. Tell them what you'd like, hinged or not, quarter inch.
I'd like to have winning shoes. Could you get me a set of winning shoes?
Well, you know that's what Michael Jordan wore. Wait, he wore the shoes, right?
Mhm.
Must have been the shoes.
Was it the shoes or yeah? I don't know.
Spike Lee, you know, he was the guy that.
Spike Lee was the guy that.
It must have been the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be the shoes, you know. That was
You know, Scott, I'm a lot younger than you are. Those references to commercial television. All right.
Okay. There's a lot of finger pointing going on right now.
Catch the shooter on the side.
All right, so now we know that Ozzy's shoes are soccer shoes, and the coach did the shoes.
Oh, excellent. So all you Bay Area curlers, you've got a great reference right there for
The coach did the shoes herself.
herself.
According to the.
Fantastic.
I'd run all my shoes through that. They're so stylish.
And the toe dip as well, I imagine. They're great looking shoes. I love them. Here comes Mr. Moore's first rock, I believe. No, I'm sorry, this is Derek's. Last rock as a second, and perfect position. Boy, these kids are really playing well. This Moore rink is confident and playing well and understanding the ice and forcing this Altus rink to chase, and they're hitting as well as they can. They got opportunity for a nice double here and perhaps to leave one up there on the top right of the center line, but unfortunately we've come a little really wide with our hit here. Out of their second, Jimmy Williams, and has left those three rocks in place for Moore. And he is going to stack another one up there about halfway between the hog and the house. And it's going to make things even more difficult for this Altus rink if they can execute. But I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for that Altus rink. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I love an underdog.
Yeah. I think it's hard to root against a guy wearing a flannel shirt, though. So.
Well, when you're from Minnesota, yeah, I kind of get that.
John, if you need it,
Hey, let's get some times on this ice.
it's
We'll
got
see
to curl quite a bit.
how well it's playing.
You ready? You ready?
They're calling for more curl, but here
Whoa.
it comes just fine.
Well, we're gonna freeze
Thank
on this
you.
one. Leave it. Okay, that's fine there.
Very nice shot. The Stopera rink on sheet 6 is coming around guards and sitting back 4 and top 8, and they're going to make a very tough draw for that Sluisar rink to get through that guard. You guys can
Yeah,
see
I think that they just a couple rocks ago they blasted a whole bunch of red out.
Yep.
It's looking good. Here we go. Mark is trying to clear some rocks out, and he's.
I got it.
That's a good spot for them
Shot,
to be
Mark.
there. Good shot by Mark. They've got something to move back into that house if need be. A good call by
What?
Josh here as well to just tap that back and try to get under that red guard that's
Just play
Mark had
this.
left him.
It's pretty interesting, and see if I would do the guard. That's a advanced maneuver, the tap.
Just play the tap. Back 4. Actually, just T.
T-line
So he
Wayne's
wants to
comfortable.
tap it back and then roll under the guard.
Well, he probably can't roll under the guard, but he can kind of nose that yellow rock and sit right where his current yellow rock or full 12 tap the one he's trying to into the 4-foot, and he's sitting 3, and
Where's
it
the weight?
just puts so much pressure on the Altus
Wolf.
rink. If you throw a guard
Wolf.
and miss it above that red one, they can move that red one back
Yep.
in there a lot easier.
Whoa. John, finish it hard. Nice shot, Derek.
Not a
Oh.
bad shot at all.
That's a peach.
That is
It's a
good
peach.
shot. They're above the tee line with their 2 yellows.
There's a little gap.
It's going to take something special for the Bay Area curlers to get one here.
Yes! 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 Sweet!
Mark's second. Curling up quite nice. He's got a nice line on it. Oh, what a
Nice.
fantastic shot.
Nice shot, Mark.
Holy buckets.
And that's how it's done.
And that is how it's done. And that young man looks like he's done that 100 times. He's not even hardly smiling.
He was smiling.
It's like he does it all day long. Now, the Altus rink is sitting 1. What a great shot.
That's a lifesaver.
At the beginning.
Very much so.
Okay, so the thing is,
Well, my theory went right down the
even
toilet
if we
there.
hit well,
Yeah. It did look like it kind of lined up for a double at least, but I didn't know what the rock behind, the one that was behind the tee line. I didn't know what that would do with anything, but boy, they hit that one just right.
that's the only way.
That's a beauty.
It was really unlucky because this kind of turned into a hitting end. I didn't want it to be, but because we had a missed shot, we had a bad miss on the second.
Like I said, anywhere on the
We still got our work to do now, yeah. Because there's a lot of guards. Yeah, that was
Zevy's talking to Mark about how the
Yep.
end set up
Mark.
and about how they had to hit,
Oh,
and
God.
he's making a lot of quality statements about it. And
Oh,
here we have a miss.
My bad.
Opportunity
It's
for
stuck to
the
my
Altus
fingers
rink
when
to
I let
sit
go.
2. What a change in this end
said it
in a
slipped out
matter
of
of
his
2
fingers.
rocks.
Yeah.
A 5-point swing
Yeah. That's why you have to play the game.
in 3 rocks.
Football, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very exciting end.
our work to do.
Zevy's all the way out on the edge of the 12 to get a piece of the house out there.
That great hit and then that miss could cause emotions to flip flop.
Well,
We're drawing to the
I
left
kind of
side.
thought that was going to happen in the
8-foot's
in
good.
the
I mean,
Vikings game over the weekend, but something went terribly wrong.
Something went amiss.
Here we go. We're going to get a time here, folks. And we're off.
what do you think?
Looks like he's got a very nice line. Zevy does. They got to sweep it down there, pound it all the way. He's a little bit
Yes.
light,
It needs it,
unfortunately.
but
Kind of got way out there in
Is
the
it going to be
sticky stuff.
14 and a half?
All right, my bad. I was just really light.
It's
16.
16-6. Hog to hog.
I was just light.
Oh, we know that's the guard weight.
That's too bad.
I'm throwing hits, so I don't.
Like the guys like to call that when you throw it way out there in the 12-foot, the swamp. You're throwing it out there in the swamp. It hasn't been played out there very much, and you're not quite sure what's going to happen. It could be a little sticky. It could still be
Yeah.
fresh.
Even if we know, we just got to hit it.
Mr. Moore is throwing it.
Jaeger.
In-turn hit. Try to roll behind the guards that are just left of the center line.
Get over.
Gonna roll out and leave an open house for either the blank or for a draw of one.
Nothing to worry about.
Gotta believe he's going to blank this end. The young Zevi Altus.
What? Yeah. The original one.
He's kind of got
I'm
the
gonna sneak
sweet
behind you
chin
guys
strap
and
beard
set this
going
over
on
here.
there. Zevi does.
Oh,
a lot
I'll have
easier
to check
to
that
do
out.
than
I usually
actually-
admire
What?
beards.
Don't know what to do. I'm wearing a flannel. I can do what I want.
That's right, you can.
Yeah, back off here.
I don't know if anybody heard that out in TV land, web stream land,
I'm
but
sure they did.
Josh
Oh,
Moore
that's
said
the-
he's wearing a flannel. He can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
Derek.
He proved that right. We have a blank end. So,
So that's a blank end where they intentionally hogged it. I don't.
yeah, typically you kind of want to throw one like normal weight
John.
or control weight out there,
5-6.
kind of wide, just to kind of see how the rock reacts if you
But
need
it's-
to make that shot.
But it's totally fine with the. It's totally fine to intentionally hog the rock.
Well, apparently, but I don't know. There's officials down there. What do you think they're doing? They might have those officials, they could say something about that.
Zero.
What's that guy saying over there that helping us? What's his?
Susie.
He was
if both
interested
teams are
in
ready,
knowing how we type in a blank.
Why is that?
Should we go around the scores again?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So sheet one is Padel and Kitchens, and
Yeah.
so
I got
Padel's
it.
2,
Mainly for the-
Kitchens is 3.
Okay.
Take that back. It's 3-2 with Padel in the lead. Sheet 2, which is Page and Normandu. Normando is 5, and I can't
5-6.
see
It's 5-1
5-1.
after 3,
Yep.
and they're about midway through the 4th.
Yep. Come on, guys.
Sheet 3 is Bear and
Real hard.
Traxler,
Hard as you can.
and looks like Bear scored
You want me to take it?
3 in the second, so it's 3-2.
Okay. We'll take
Sheet
it.
4 is Quello and Running,
All right.
and
Once again,
I don't know what's going
They're
on. We
hanging
time it
score.
perfectly.
We
it's
do
now
time it.
2-2, and then sheet.
who's winning?
We are winning because we're watching curling. Sheet 6, Slusser and Stupera is tied up, 1-1. Sheet 7 is Perry and Clausen.
Perry's throwing red rocks, and they're playing the 4th, and it is still 1-0. They've blanked the 1st and the 3rd end.
Whew,
They're
sounds
playing the 4th.
tiring. And sheet 8, Fenson and Thompson, Packers Bears, is 2-1. 2 Fenson, 1 Thompson.
Who's the Bemidji rivalry? Does anybody know?
Who's a Bemidji rival?
Yeah, the Bemidji Beavers. Like, do they got a big college rivalry? Like,
It's probably someone who's in Bassmasters, I would think.
yeah, could be, or it could be Eau Claire.
Wait, only 7,
So, what's the Eau Claire College's
6, 7, right
mascot?
here,
Do we know?
guys. Right here.
No,
Right here.
I'm sure we'll find
Whoa.
out.
Someone could chime
Whoa.
in. That'd be
Jaeger, if you
fantastic.
need it.
I think it's the Flashes.
So Moore is
Yep,
doing their
yep,
draw
yep,
magic again.
Yep. All the way. Nice shot. Good sleep, guys.
They are just pounding them into the 4-foot and the tee line and keeping the pressure on that Altus rink. Opportunity here.
Yeah, I just kind of learned or realized this year that the drawing like that is the aggressive move. That's playing aggressively.
Correct. You can kind of see Ozzy, his delivery. You can see him kind of sliding down the center of the sheet, and he's got to kind of set that rock out
Yep.
versus sliding on the line that he intends to deliver the rock on. And that can be a little troublesome in
Yeah, just missed.
Things like this that you just kind of got through the house, or you throw it a little narrow when you're sliding narrow, and got to get him
This is fine, Eric.
working on sliding down
this
the
one DC,
line of
actually?
delivery. It's a
Almost
very,
all of it,
very
probably.
important part of the game.
It's hard to tell if you hit the broom too if your
Okay.
arm's way out here.
Well, he's doing his best, and
Yes.
they're in the game, and that's what counts. So pair rink on sheet 6 is
Line's a lot better.
setting up for a steal,
Line's a little tighter.
I think.
Yep.
They have the hammers. Another interesting end where they're going to play everything right to the middle of the sheet, perhaps.
Okay, line's good. Line's good. Whoa, whoa.
Derek's first rock as the second for Mr. Moore is in a fine spot.
I think that we might have the order wrong. I think that guy might be Jaeger. I think.
Uh-oh.
Jimmy!
No. Boy, I hope not. But if that's the case, we'll correct it when we can, when someone corrects us. I'm still trying to get a solid time here. I'm not having a lot of luck. I'm missing some draws here
Stay
and there.
close.
Ice is definitely keen. The kids are having fun.
Yep.
And a little tick and roll out.
I got one out.
Did get one out. We're going to play that hit game, and it might bite them in the end. If they could tap that yellow Moore rock back that's in the 4-foot, just tap it behind the tee line, perhaps give them the opportunity to get two or more, unless, of course, Mr. Mark Songby
Wow, that was quite the shot.
can keep throwing triples.
Connected 5 stones there on 6.
Wait
Pow,
on
pow, pow, pow.
Line's good. 4. 4 right
Are we talking about the same game? We're not talking. You're
No,
watching one game.
Sheet
I'm
6
watching
over
another.
here. No, there was just an exciting rock on 6. I'm sorry, I got distracted by
Okay, switch.
by hits.
Go, John.
And another rock by the Moore rink. That is in the house.
Nice shot, Eric. Good sleep.
That is a fine shot where it's just biting the top 12. Doesn't offer them the opportunity for the Altus shrink to hit and sit one, possibly, or roll over. Be
Yeah, they
in the house.
that whole team seems to have that draw to that general area. I like to shift it around.
Comes Jimmy's last as the second for Team Altus. And set that one out a little bit, but that's unfortunate. Really putting the pressure on the third and the skip now. How many ends can they get away with this?
7? How many are left? Oh no, 6. Only 6. They can only get away with it for 6.
These are 10-end games.
Yeah, you know what the thing is going to happen is that they're going to do a miraculous shot and they're going to get right back in it.
Are you? There, Mrs. Linda Clausen is sitting right to my left, the lovely lady, listening to our commentary and waving.
4. Very good.
The boys score on 7 they're looking for.
Yeah.
It should be her
I
son
think they're-
Jack and
I think
her
they're
other
looking
son,
for their
Sam.
boys to score.
Always. Always.
I don't think they're looking for the score. They're looking for them to score.
Ah.
Go.
Ooh, they are sitting 4 right now.
Oh, we don't.
We got a little parental involvement here.
Are those yellow rocks, Linda?
Yeah. 4
Those
yellows.
are 4 yellow. Clausen rink on sheet 7 is sitting very well right now with 4 in the house. And the Perry rink trying to draw down to them and unfortunately coming up quite light and leaving a high guard and giving a wide open opportunity for that Clausen rink to throw one center line top full 8 or top 8, sitting 5, creating problems for the Perry team.
Altus team throws, misses again, throws through.
Let's go right here.
They're having a hard time getting those yellow ones out.
That's fine here.
If those Bay Area curlers that are watching our web stream as some experienced curlers here in St. Paul, I would think these young men are showing a great deal of promise, and I think one thing they could work on is their line of delivery and keeping that stone in front of their sliding foot, making sure it's down the line. When you start sliding a little narrow and setting rocks, what happens? It tends to go wide, and
Yeah, you push them out.
you flash a little bit.
Yep.
But
Well, if anybody's listening, Scott, when I learned to curl, I'd come over here practice during the day, and Scott was ice maker then, and he'd come over here and he'd curse and say, "What the heck are you doing?" And he'd show me. And ever since he showed me that trick that he just said, I've never missed a broom since.
perhaps a shot, but not a broom.
Yeah.
All right. Mark has got pressure on him once again here. And you can see Mark's kind of getting down that line pretty well.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight. It's going to come over.
He's really trying to move a lot of granite here.
He's going to get those guards out, I think. Of course, he replaced it with his own.
We missed the end of sheet 7, Clausen, Perry, end. Clausen rink was sitting 4.
We hear from the mom that Jack drew in to the button for 5.
Oh, a big end. A crooked number for that Clausen rink that keeps them in control of the game here early on. They're going to play the 5th and then take a break. I think their goal here right now is to make sure they don't give up more than 1 and stay in control.
Excuse me, I don't want to go in front of your rock. I didn't want to go in front of his rock. It's kind of like awkward, like, hey. Yeah.
Lots of great curling fans here at the St. Paul Curling Club watching all these youngsters curl, including my beautiful wife Joanne, standing right off to my left. I see other great curling fans like Mr. Mark Faltasek here. Mr. Scott Clausen
Jaeger,
watching his son.
Jaeger, be ready
Looks like
to
Josh
finish.
is going to try to draw in.
Yep.
Oh, get back to the action. Thank
Whoa,
you.
whoa, whoa. Jaeger. Jaeger. Hard.
You might have noticed that he was yelling Jaeger.
I did notice that.
The other thing is that farming shirt.
They play the
I
run
read the
backs.
other side of it says farming because starving
See,
sucks.
the thing is, if you hit on the outside of this one, you got to hit
Starving
with a lot of
does
weight,
suck.
because
Farming would be really
You're
fun.
not going to move that real hard, I don't think.
I think it'd be a good because you get a curl in the winters if you farm.
Well, you curl in the winters, and what do you do?
No comment.
You don't farm, I can guarantee you that. Because that'd be way too much work for a guy like you.
Listen, I've had a Bitcoin farmer or two. By the way, Bitcoin, I don't know what the price is, but I think it's up to like $900 a Bitcoin.
I don't even know what a Bitcoin is.
I mean, I probably this, but
Here we go. Is this Zevi's last? Nope. I'm sorry. Zevi's first. He does have the hammer. He's going to raise that red rock back. Stand up here. Oh, they waited too long. He was right in his call.
Hey, did Mark call you off?
He's a little disappointed in that.
Unless you hear a call, keep
like right here.
We can't hear you, so they stop sweeping. Sorry, we can't hear you, so we stop. If you hear whoa, you stop.
Yeah,
Don't stop because you can't hear something.
That's unfortunate. He had a nice line on that rock, and it did over curl on him, and the boys just didn't hear the sweep call. Nice effort by Zevi.
All right, we're going to give up on the timing. Good choice. This software has built-in timing.
For what?
Well, we can display the time, and then we can watch it cross like the back line, hog line. It'll do all 3 times.
Yeah. We should set that up. This is quality championship ice we're playing on right here, folks.
Craig said it was better than championship.
And what would that be, I wondered?
Galactic championship ice. So he's probably
Mr. Moore's
bringing
final rock is going to be a guard near the top of the house. Got off it because it just would have probably over curled. It's not too bad. It does leave a soft weight hit, but I tell you what, I'm not sure he can hit that top yellow rock and sit one. He needs to get a piece of that second one as well. And that's what he's calling. I think it would be hack weight, maybe plus.
Could also be one of those situations, like if they're sitting two and you can't, you can't get rid of both of them. At least you get rid of one.
Okay.
Sure.
If you can't hear anything, keep doing what you're doing. Okay.
Oh, a little coaching.
Zevi is letting him know. Just keep sweeping, no matter what, until you hear exactly what you need to hear. Which is probably good advice. It's a little loud out there. Here he comes with his last. Skips final rock in the 4th end. Zevi Altus.
He's got to come over. Looks pretty good, though.
He's going to make a hit, but unfortunately roll a bit and give up a steal of 1 to the Moore rink, and that will make it 4-1 after 4 here at the St. Paul Curling Club.
Yeah, if I were on that team, though, I'd feel pretty happy about just 1. I mean, 3-1 isn't a good spot, but they had a lot of rocks. They were fighting to get those rocks out of there.
They've had a lot of pressure put on them each and every end so far, and these young men from the Bay Area Curling Club are handling it quite well for being newer curlers and not having a lot of experience at this level, from what we understand. Good for them. So keep it up, guys. You never know what's going to happen. You might get the break you need. And similar to the Clausen rink on sheet 7, you could pop someone for 5 before you know it.
Look what happened on sheet 1. Padel Kitchens. Padel scored 4. It looks like, so it's 7-2.
7-2 on sheet 1.
Yeah.
And they are playing the 5th. And on sheet 2, we have a similar type of score.
Yeah,
where
it's Paige Norman Doe.
Norman Dew is 6-1. And playing the 5th, about midway through the 5th, those young ladies are looking to go 2-0. The local St. Paul ladies are doing quite well.
Sheet 3 is Bear and Trexler. Looks like it's tied up at 3.
Mm-hmm. Getting ready to start the 5th.
And sheet 4, if it's to form, they'll be putting their score up here momentarily.
They will, as Quello just threw their last rock without hammer, and I'm unfortunately not quite sure what happened there, but we'll find out soon enough.
Sheet 6, Slusar and Stopera is 3-2.
Stopera's playing a very similar game to the Moore rink that we're commentating on, keeping much pressure on the red rocks of
Slusar is the red rocks.
Thank you.
That's fine. I'd rather have a guard than a draw through the house, all right?
The sheet 7 is Perry Clausen, and it looks like that's 5-1
Mark,
for
focus on
Clausen, yellow.
And Clausen's sitting 3 right now.
And Fenson looks like they're up 4-1
And look
over Thompson.
All the rocks in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Every rock is in play on sheet 8. Oh, there is one out of play. Here comes the Thompson yellow rock. And once again, folks, like I've said, if you're anywhere near the St. Paul Curling Club and can get down here to watch a classic rivalry, this is one to see.
Do you think that we could take that dehumidifier, that's a heater right there? Do you think we could get that removed? I'd get a better view.
No.
Just checking.
However, I do know that heater likes to blow air right down onto the ice and sublimate it. And kudos to Craig Zabotnik and his ice crew here for all the hard work that they've put in and keeping this ice in great condition. Being a former ice maker here, I can tell you that this is not an easy place to make good ice at, and let alone championship ice or galactic.
Well, yeah, apparently the getting good ice in a 100-year-old plus plant or whatever is.
Well, the plant isn't quite 100 years old, but the walls are, and there's hardly any insulation in the walls. And what is there, I'm sure, is quite damp and rotten. And they have an old Alumisorb ceiling here that really doesn't like to hold a lot of cold in.
So when you said sublimate, that means it goes right from solid to gas. So it says the ice dries out?
That's correct. That's exactly right. The air will blow across it. And the dehumidification in this old barn is blowing right down on the ice as well at the home end. And while the dehumidification unit works very well, the unit does blow down onto the ice, and in a matter of a short 48 hours can sublimate a lot of that ice and create runs. And it takes a ton of care and extra work in order to make sure your ice stays flat and level at all times here.
So what do you do? And you've been out 48 hours, you come back in, you found out you've had a big sublimation problem. Do you just do a pebble with large pebble and let it freeze and
well, that is
cut her down and do it again?
Typically what needs to happen, yep. And if you've been gone for 2 or more days and that hasn't happened, then it's usually a couple of those types of pebbles and shaves, similar to what you would do after a flood in order to make sure everything is level and flat. So typically here in St. Paul, it's a daily event. That you come in the morning, you throw a very heavy pebble down on that ice of nice hot water and put a shave to it, and then do the same thing in the afternoon.
Yep.
So the water in those tanks is warm?
Yep.
Well, there is cold and hot water.
Oh, so sometimes you use hot?
Sorry about that.
Typically for
when you're dealing with sublimation.
Typically with sublimation, you'll use a nice hot water, yeah.
All right, Mark.
Typically when you're using a pebble water for just a game pebble, such as we're playing on right now, it would be a cold base and a hotter temperature top pebble.
So the warmer must melt in a little bit? I mean, why the warm?
Well, warm
spread
water
out, maybe?
No, it has less oxygen in it because it is warmer. And when it has less oxygen in it, it will create a harder pebble. So when it's nipped, it will be firmer and taller. So that is the basic reason right there. Warm water or hot water has less oxygen in it than cold.
So the cold water has more like
oh, wrong side.
like oxygen gas in it, or?
Correct.
So when you put your ice cubes in, say you're making ice cubes at home, that whole thing about warm water or cold water, there might be some science behind that.
Well, there's definitely.
And they might have got that from curling.
They might have got that from curling. Probably the Scotsman.
Yeah.
There's Mr. Zabotnik right there on sheet 8, putting the broom to the ice after the 5th end break.
And he's got a gray mitten and a black glove.
Back to sheet 5. What's happening? The Moore rink once again has got 2 rocks, top 8, top 12, and making this Altus rink chase them by throwing hits consistently.
All right, nice shot, Jimmy.
Jimmy ran one back, but they still sit two, the Moore rink. And Josh is calling for one through the port, down into the 4-foot on an out-turn call. Or perhaps he's calling for the hit and roll. He is calling for a hit and roll. I'm sorry, I didn't see that red rock out there.
So if you're playing a team like the Moore team that seems to have their draws down, how do you combat that?
Well, when you're down 4-1, as the Altus rink is, you need to figure out a time to stop hitting and start just tapping those rocks of the Moore rinks back into the back of the house, forcing them to maybe start playing hits. And when that happens, there's an opportunity for a jam. And if that jam does happen, you have that opportunity then to draw again on top of them. And by keeping your rocks above theirs and theirs behind the tee line, you're looking at setting up an end that could score you 2, possibly 3, depending on execution.
Draw.
If you're the Moore rink, you should be doing exactly what those guys are doing. They're playing ends perfectly, quite frankly, with the lead and keeping the pressure on, forcing them to hit.
Hard. Good save. All right.
Mark made another nice hit. Unfortunately rolled out.
Hey. He's about to come there.
Moore rink is either going to guard this or tap it back just a little bit. Yeah. Tap that right into the 4-foot. Keep 2 in the house and the pressure on. Is anybody here with me right now?
Nope. Nothing but the ghost in the kitchen. I just figured you had, you know what you're talking about.
After 5 on sheet 7, I haven't hung the 5th end yet, but it is completed. Perhaps been a blank end, but that Clausen rink with that big end of 5 in the 4th is still in control.
Go. Try and get it on.
Boy, those guys really do have their weight down. That was a little light, though. I guess he wanted to tap it, so.
This rink of Moore is made up of Mapleton and Duluth curlers, and I know these young men have been around curling in the junior circuit consistently for the last few years, and it's really proving well for them right now. They are in control, they're calm, they're collected, they're confident. It's a nice thing to see, and perhaps these young men in the years to come could be one of our better men's teams playing in nationals. I could easily see that happening.
They might even get as good enough to be a high-performance team.
Perhaps, or a couple of them.
Nice shot, Mark.
That was a beaut.
Mark makes a run back. Fine shot. That young man is showing great potential. Ran that stone back. Of course,
He also has pretty interesting shoes.
He does have interesting shoes.
They kind of look like bowling shoes.
I think those are Ashams.
Oh. Well, or Ashams.
Yeah.
I've always thought
Your
Ashams
first one,
kind of
you
look
were
like bowling.
inside and
Speaking of
you were a little
bowling
heavy.
shoes, I was bowling at the Belle Plaine Burroughs Bowl not too long ago.
What do I need?
And there's a pair of New Brunswick bowling shoes that are
7'5"?
really sweet
It's getting heavy.
that I'm thinking about buying and turning
Did John,
into curling
or
shoes.
did yours pick, you think? Hey,
You
look
should
kinda
get those
light, then
for
it just
what Bonspiel we're going to go to? Arizona? And we're going to do Arizona and then San Francisco.
Back to back?
Yeah?
Go ahead if you need it. Make sure we're
Josh
there.
looks
Yep.
a little tight here. I think he's going to run into
Yep.
the guard.
Real hard, guys. Go.
Yeah, he's
Go.
got him on it.
Hard. Real hard. Real hard.
Oh,
Hard,
they
guys,
are
go.
doing a fine
Go.
job. Oh, they held that
All the way
rock
down,
out
all the way down.
Yeah, they did.
fantastic. Great sweeping by
Okay.
the Moore.
Good sweep. Thank you.
Really great sweeping.
What?
They're looking to force Altus to 1.
So when all these teams go off for the fifth end, does that change the I mean, the ice must slow down a little bit.
The ice can change a bit at that time. I haven't paid attention. If hopefully Mr. Zabotnik is putting a little pebble down from the hack out to about the tee line
Alright,
in
we're
that
throwing a
slide
control
path
hit.
area,
I'd love to get a little
because that
flop to the right.
that is obviously where it's going to flatten out
a little, not even a
first.
flop, a little baby
Wow.
roll to the right.
You can change the pebble halfway.
Well, you just yes, you can.
It's
You
too small
you
a
wouldn't
roll
pebble
that
the
I think
entire
you
sheet.
guys would
You
be
would
able to
go
help
from
much,
the
but
hack
keep an eye on it,
to
I don't know.
about the tee line,
Whatever,
or
it's
just
a
below the
control
tee
weight shot.
line, in that slide path area to make sure that there was consistent pebble there to last 10 ends. And that's what we do in events that you would see happen in the USCA Nationals
Stay
or
close.
cash spiels
Whoa.
or things like that where there are 10
Whoa!
10
Big
end
whoa.
games. Canada Cup, where I just came from,
Come on, Rock.
similar to that. So
Take, no Rock. Okay.
always a good idea to put a little pebble down at that fifth end break, just around that hack to the tee.
How was my line?
That's a Scott Belvich pro tip right there. Now, would that be hot water or cold water?
That would be cold water with a finer pebble to stand up higher.
What number?
And that would be a Scott Belvich pro tip. That came well before my time.
Yeah, I need to go more.
Well, yeah, but it can be a pro tip
The weight
for
was
me
about
now.
right.
Okay.
I was gonna go to this bumper, but it was about. I mean, the weight was close. Yeah.
I see Kevin Edwards is an official out there. Kevin is a local curler here, the St. Paul Club, as well as the Four Seasons Curling Club. And
Yep.
I think he's a local
Hi, Derek.
lacrosse coach.
Really?
And he is one of those guys that looks very official right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is he smiling?
No, he's
Is he
not
sitting?
smiling. He's sitting and
Wow, that one just took
Thank
off.
you.
very stern and his
That one just took off.
flat
Even
bill,
red, and that was
black
breaking
cap, and
crazy.
nice jacket and pants. His clipboard.
Did I flip it?
Okay, so the Moore
But
rink
even
has
so, right at the end, did you
successfully
see how hard that was
forced
curling?
Zevi to throw a draw into the full 8 or touch 4 for 1. It's a
My
good
last one came
force
up real
that he's
light.
putting on here, the Moore rink. And this is where the pressure will get you. Time and time again, end after end, if you continue to get this type of pressure, sooner or later it gets very difficult.
What do you think, guys?
But this rock looks like it has fine weight.
Stay close. Stay close to
Sweepers
it.
are staying off.
We think it's close.
It is definitely
Yeah.
close. Whoa.
Can't
Take
hurt
it
it.
easy.
Whoa.
guys.
Can't hurt it.
No. Fine draw by Zevi.
Can't hurt it, he says.
Right
All right.
into the 4, onto the button. Fine shot
There we
by
go.
Zevi Altus. Great last rock. Once again, Zevi has pulled them out of
Yeah.
a tough situation and kept them in this game. And after 5, what's going on?
It's 4-2.
4-2 after 5.
Good weight calling.
And
yeah.
this game could easily have been out of hand for that Altus shrink.
Several
nice if we
times,
could've made a couple of those in the
yeah. He
last
made some
game.
great shots.
And they're smiling and they're having fun, and that's great. Mark and Zevi are really, really doing a fine job at the back end for those young guys. And I got to say that Josh Moorink is playing very well as well. They've kept the pressure on, and if they continue to do it,
I didn't see that.
I think they will be victorious.
That's not my gripper. Whose gripper is this? John H.
We got some more information about the shoes.
In the red
So,
box there.
Yeah. Coach Steve says that Mark's shoes are in fact Asham from California Curling Supplies, which graciously provided the team's pads. So I guess the California Curling Supplies, put them all up in hotels and their pads. No, that's pretty cool.
What do you think?
Yeah, we got to get out to California.
I love California. I've been out to Vegas. I've been out to L.A. I've got a good buddy that lives in Altadena. I went to college with. I've been out to visit him a few times.
I've got a good buddy from Altadena, and he works at JPL. He's a rocket scientist, and he's in Minnesota. I went to high school with him. He's in Minnesota this week, and he said he's going to come over and watch some curling.
Say it-
Altadena.
He's a what?
He's a rocket scientist.
There's a
He works
What?
for Jet Propulsion Labs.
There's actually rocket scientists out
Oh
there?
yeah. You know what? They're almost as smart as ice makers. I bet you that he could tell us that why. Well, you already told us that there's more oxygen. Is it just oxygen or other gases?
I believe oxygen. But perhaps there's some other minor gases in there, too. But
But
rocket scientists.
yep.
You have a friend that's a rocket scientist.
Yeah, he actually works for. He does micro propulsion,
Wow.
which is these little. They use they're these little engines that use ion. They call it ion propulsion. So in space, you don't need a lot of force. So if you have a little ion propulsion going over a long period of time, if you're going long distances, you'll slowly speed up your spacecraft with not a lot of energy.
Hence the reason they can orbit the Earth time and time and time again.
I don't think they need energy for that. I think they need energy to prevent falling. That's why they can go, although I don't think they use these for this, but the idea is that they could go and visit like Mercury or something.
Oh,
Well, Mercury, they
way
go
out
to the sun, but
Right.
Pluto, the other
Right,
side.
right. Way out there.
All right, well, should we update people on scores?
I'm
Some
going to let
people
you
are
do
in.
that. I'm going to take a quick break.
All right,
I'll be right back.
all right. Sounds good. So on sheet 1, it looks like Padel is up handily, 9-2 over Kitchens. Sheet 2 is Normando is up 7-1, I think, over Page. And sheet 3, it looks like Trexler's up 3-2 over Bear. Sheet. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Sheet 3, it's Trexler's up 4-3 over Bear. And sheet 4, it looks like Running is up 3-2 over Quello. And we just did sheet 5, so Moore is up 4-2. Sheet 6, it looks like Slusar's up 3-2. They blanked the 5th, and they're just starting the 6th then. Sheet 7, looks like it's 6-1. Looks like Clausen stole 1 in the 5th. And in sheet 8, Fenson Thompson. Fenson is up 4-2, and they're in the 6th. I'm going to take a break as well, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm back.
Control. Nose is
We're
fine.
probably going to lose the skip mics in the sometime in this half. Scott just joined us.
I'm back.
Whew, he's back with a vengeance.
Mr. Moore's lead, John
More.
Harstad.
More.
coming into the house.
Okay, John.
Nice hit. Roll off to the 8-foot. They are very much in control of this game. Jonathan Harstad, the lead. Fine shot, young man. Here comes Ozzy. Come on, Oz. Get down that line. You can just kind of see how he's sliding there, and he's got that tuck slide. Coach Steve. You see one out in the Bay Area? Coach Steve, we got to get him sliding flat-footed. Get him down the line a little bit better. He slides narrow consistently to the broom. But he has made a fine shot.
Nice.
Well done, Ozzy. And back to John's second. Kind of see the difference in those slides.
Yep. Whoa. Jaeger. All the way.
Sorry that we messed up on the cameras while we were breaking.
What happened?
Well, some people were actually watching curling, that line of guards over there.
Should we talk about our sponsors up on the back wall of the St. Paul Curling Club? What a wonderful place. This is the granddaddy of clubs, Upper Midwest. 105 years old about now. Our sponsors down between 1 and 2, Adamat, Ram Restaurant and Brewery. They're represented here, as well as Brooms Up Curling Supplies, showing between 4 and 5, and of course the USA Curling logo.
Nice freeze right down there.
Between 5 and 6. Mr. Moore, being up by 2, is going to hammer away at that red Altus rock. There's a simple rule in curling. When you have the lead and you start hitting opponents' rocks, they can't score if they don't have rocks in the house. That's what Jim Dexter used to tell me when I was down here. And he was absolutely right. No problem losing that back yellow rock from the motor rink. And here's Jimmy. Jimmy looking to draw down on the Moore rock that is still behind the tee line. Good call by Zevi here. Unfortunately, Jimmy, as we've seen a couple times tonight, a little bit heavy with his rock.
So the last time they drew down, he drew right to it, and then they just hit it. So why is that a good? I mean, what else could you do? I guess you could.
You're talking about the Moore rink hit it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it was an open rock, and their rock was behind the tee, as this one is, and not doing you a lot of good when it's behind the tee line. It allows for that other team to draw down to it and lock onto you. And if they do make that perfect shot, it's very difficult to get them out. So Mr. Moore here has decided to go to the other side of things and split the house. He does have the hammer, so oh boy, they need to get this in the house. Unfortunately, it came up a little bit light, but acts as a corner guard, so in the end it might not be too bad. But
well, they have shown that they can draw.
Correct. Zevi with his third mark, throwing his first stone here, needs to make kind of a tough decision. Does he draw down to that yellow Moore rock and really play for the steal, or even put one up the top of the house, acting as a center guard, and see what Moore does with it, which would probably be to hit it. But if he does put one up in that center line area right above the house, and Moore hits it and stays, now he does still have that guard he can draw under and get into that 4 foot and possibly steal with.
If he could draw right down on top, though, that'd be just touching.
Correct. He could do that as well, and Moore will hit that rock immediately, I would think. Get rid of his yellow rock that's behind the red stone that would be Altus's, and play the end out from there, because even if Moore just gets one, that would be just fine with him. He'd be up 3 after 6 and definitely in control of the game. Not sure what the delay is here. They do have an official out on the ice. Sure who that official is. What the question
You scared
is.
me at first. I thought I had done something wrong.
I think everything is settled between the two teams, and Zevi makes the call to draw down to it, as you talked about. Mark can throw this to it or be in the top 8. That'd be just fine as well. It'd be a good spot to be to make the Moore Rink deal with it and see what they could do and possibly get a jam. But unfortunately, it looks like Mark might be a little bit heavy. He hasn't thrown a lot of draws tonight. Unfortunately, the young man has had to throw a ton of hits. Came a little bit heavy, and that's what can happen.
Control.
Sometimes watching the video, the audio is faster than the video. So that hit, we watched it, we heard it, but then on the video,
Right. It's a good thing there's a delay. Are we faster than the video?
Oh yeah.
Oh, usually it's the other way around, just in case I say something inappropriate.
Oh, there is a delay.
Oh.
There's 7 seconds where we can worry about what's going to happen because it's going to go out. There's nothing we can do except we could pull the plug in those 7 seconds.
Well,
all right, they successfully removed the red rock from the back of the house.
we did.
So it looks like they're going to do the same thing. They're going to try to draw down to it.
Yeah, these are tough shots to try to make, but as I mentioned, you get down to it or even sit around the tee line. Anywhere that forces the Moore Rink to hit him and possibly jam is the best you can hope for kind of in this situation. The only other thing you could really do is hit that yellow rock out and force a blank here, or he's doing his best, and it's a good call. And it's a nice shot by Mark. Once again, that young man has thrown a lot of fine shots tonight.
Could they have drawn?
You want to play board?
Well, what would be wrong? Well, I guess if they drew behind their guard and got it in the 8 foot, like directly behind the guard, so it was outscoring the other yellow. I guess that just sets up the other team for sitting 2, right?
Right, and then you're playing for a double, but that would possibly bring in play 3 for the Moore Rink if they were to do that. And that is kind of what you would probably see very highly competitive teams do in a situation like this, because they're confident they can make a double. And they do have last rock, so.
Whoa.
I'm not sure what happened here. It's missed it. And there you go. He forced them to think about things a little bit and what kind of weight to throw and not jam, and sure enough they missed it, and Zevi's going to draw that other side and look to force one or possibly even steal one. Well done by those young Bay Area curlers. We'll update you on some scores here shortly.
Moore figured out how to mute his mic.
Uh-oh.
One of them ran out of batteries, and one of them is muted.
Can they hear us?
Absolutely not.
I knew that.
Well, that California rink might be able to read minds.
Oh, well, there's a lot of mind readers out there. Palm readers, too. From what I
That just
understand.
cracks me up. All right, let's go around the scores here.
Oh, we're not done here.
Oh.
Here comes Zevi. Hold on just a moment. Zevi's trying to get into the house, and they are sweeping it with everything they got. And Zevi's even getting involved in it. They got to carry it in there. Come on, guys. Get it into the 12-foot. And unfortunately, he's come up light. And he's going to give Josh the opportunity to hit and sit one, possibly two.
He hasn't had to do that a lot, so probably
No.
doesn't have a lot of.
But he does have the hammer, and once again, that could bring a deuce, possibly three into play, depending on how Zevi throws his last. Battle Royal on sheet 8. That is a definite Packer Viking game going on over there.
Yeah, it looks just like the Packer Viking game.
Mm-hmm.
One team has good-looking uniforms, and the other one doesn't.
Here comes Josh's first rock as Skip down to it, knocks it out and rolls out, but that's just fine. He's sitting one. Zevi really needs to hit this yellow rock and not flirt around too much, unless he wanted to come behind his guard rock that he threw with his first and touch the 4. If he can make that shot, he would put a lot of pressure on Josh to prove his mettle. And that's what he's calling it. Good for him.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
He's down 2. He can make the shot. He cut it to 1, or we could see a turn of events, and he could be down 4 before this is done. But I like the gutsy call.
The chutzpah.
Zevi Altus coming out with his final rock.
That stone has been cast.
Here it comes.
Looks a little
Ooh.
heavy.
Hey, stone cast.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't think he's heavy. I think he's got pretty nice weight. It needs to curl, and here it comes. It's curling wonderfully, and it's coming in behind his guard.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this could be a peach, folks. Sit down. Whoa, whoa.
A little too
Whoa.
far, eh?
Oh, and he did just come a little heavy. Is he sitting 1? I think Moore is sitting 1, but not by much. Boy, they're really looking at that. Who is?
Oh, he turned his mic back on.
Right here.
That's pretty savvy. These kids these days, media savvy.
No fear.
Even if we get one here, I don't want to overthrow it and flash it. It's close. So we're going to play it a touch tight. It's close. What do you think, John?
That Josh Moore, he sounds
Okay.
like a curler.
Yeah, he does.
He sounds like
Touch
he.
less.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is. He seems like he's been curling a long
We don't
time,
need fully fat
based
meat.
on his cadence.
Tight. I'm kind of surprised by
You
this.
guys
He
can
could easily
sleep back
just
in the
draw
line
into
when
the
it's good.
4
We
or
just
the
barely
8
need
foot.
to touch it.
I think he's just trying to make sure of his 2 by tapping that red Altus rock
No
back,
touch. No finish.
so he can get 2.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
Here it comes.
Eric. Jaeger. Hard. Eric. Whoa.
Rocks are still carrying very nicely, and I think he could execute this shot, maybe if it curls up enough. Mark is on it hard. No, and he did draw into the back 8 for a definite 1. They may have a measure for 2. Let's see if the signal goes up. And yes, they are looking for a measure.
I think if I remember right, in my timer training, they have to put their brooms down in front or something.
No. You don't ever want to put your broom down in case it gets kicked. If the broom gets kicked and then it bangs into the stone, the measurement is null and void at that point.
Scott, have you had timer training?
I've had measurement training.
Okay. We got a little.
Don't ever put your broom down in front of the rocks, folks.
We got a little correction here. Apparently, I don't even know. It says Schutzpah is pronounced like Kutzpah. I thought it was more like Hitzka. Hitzka. So we got that figured out.
I am calling. What do you bet?
I think yellow.
Bet 5. I'm betting 5 on yellow.
All right, I'll take that bet.
You're taking red?
No, 5 on yellow.
5 on. All
We'll
right,
both be
red.
winners or we'll both be losers.
All right, I got yellow. I got red. Because I love an underdog.
5 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Right now, that would be the
Oh, that was
Altus rink.
what we were planning to play?
Yeah. Here we go. Here's the touch. We can't see from directly overhead, but it is pointed at yellow, and that would be 2 for the Moore rink, and I am down 5.
Me too. No, you're not.
Son of a gun.
No, you
Hey,
took yellow.
John,
I took red.
5-6.
Well, I felt like you got bullied into that.
Well, we couldn't both take yellow.
Yes, we can. We can both be winners.
We make that one computer guy sitting over here. What's his name again? Adam?
Adam, Bulldog height.
Make him pay. You owe us $10. You won?
Oh, apparently I got it right. Kutzpah.
All right. So let's shoot them around. Here we go. I'm going to start sheet 1. The Poto Kitchens game has gotten a little bit out of hand right now. I believe Poto
I think it's over, I think.
has taken a large lead, and it is over.
John.
They've shook on that game.
We're good.
With Red Rocks being Poto, I believe, right?
Yep.
The Red Rocks, they are victorious. Sheet 2 between Page and Normandu has tightened up a bit,
Wait only.
with the Page rink scoring 4 in the 6th to cut the lead to 7 to
if you need
5.
it.
After
We gotta be
6,
right on
they're
top.
playing the 7th
Jaeger,
as we
more,
speak.
or not more.
Sheet 3,
Jaeger.
Bear Traxler
Wanted to say it.
is a 2-point game with the Bear rink leading 5 to 3, and on sheet 4
I went Eric, and you started
we
speaking.
have
And
Quello
then I
running
went to say last names,
in
I
a
said
tight game
more.
as well, also a 2-point game, 4 to 2 Quello, I believe, in the lead. And I could have some of those other teams wrong depending on who's throwing red and yellow. It's tough to see from up here. I'm going to let you take 6, 7, and 8 from there, Chris.
I turned my mic down because there's an ice conference behind us. So red is always the first one. So sheet 6, Slusser Stapera. Looks like it's tied up. So it's 3-3 in the 7th. In the 7th, it's Perry Clausen. And it looks like Perry got an extra point. So it's 6-2. And then sheet 8,
Oh,
Fenson Thompson is
they just shook on sheet 7.
6-3.
Clausen rink victorious.
Nice. So they'll move to 1-1.
That's correct. Sheet 8.
Fenson Thompson,
Jaeger.
and Fenson is
Jaeger,
up
if you need
6-3.
Line's tight. Yep.
6 to 3. That's the Minnesota team, very much like the
Yep.
Vikings, beating the
Whoa.
Wisconsin team, very much like the
Derek.
Packers, and
Well, it
kind
can't.
of a reverse role that's going.
I don't think
on
it can. I don't think it.
Hey.
I don't think it can be a Wisconsin team because they're in the East.
there. Well, they could register for the West. Isn't Thompson a team from?
Well, Thompson is from Eau Claire, but then
Oh, there you go.
Kevin is from Minnesota. It just says he's from the state of. Michael Matson is from Curl Masabi. Austin is from GNCC.
Out east.
And then their 5th is Ryan Marriott from the St. Paul Curling Club.
Well, that would be Neil the Deal's son, Ryan,
That's what I was going to say.
or Captain Canada.
I'm not familiar with Neil the Deal or Captain Canada, but I like the sound of Captain Canada. Here I come to save the day.
And you're quick. All right, back to sheet 5.
You know, this looks a lot like the other ends.
Control.
As we talked about at the end of end 6, that was a gutsy call by the Zevi Altus to try to draw down in there under that guard, and when he missed it, he did end up giving up 2, and now it's a 4-point game and turned out to be a 3 to 4 point swing there. Moore coming down and hitting them out, and sitting 3 once again with a lot of pressure in the middle of the sheet. Seve has got his work cut out for him once again.
Mm-hmm.
I went right to your website, right off your website. I just went right to the website.
Good games going on all over here. See these young guys, they got their curling pants
Oh,
on.
they're gonna raise theirs in.
This is a good call. Got more rocks in play. That's exactly what he needs. You see a little straight leg curling pants out there out of these young bucks. Must be the new fashion, huh? For us old guys.
I didn't know what straight leg was until I got married, and apparently I was wearing the wrong type of jeans.
Skinny jeans?
I don't know. Whatever I was tapered, I guess. I was wearing tapered jeans. But that's what we wore in the 80s.
Well, right. You remember those days?
Yeah, tapered, acid washed.
Oh, yeah. You bleached them out. Do you remember when you'd take the bottom of the pant leg and you pull it tight around your ankle and you roll it over and then roll it up like so? It was
I still do that because I don't like stepping on the edge of my pants, and I was so good at it.
I hated that too. But yeah, now it's coming back in vogue a little bit. Not necessarily the flip it over and roll it up look, but very much the tight ankle, straight leg look.
Well, I hope that I have some boxes of those 28-inch jeans. I hope they still fit.
You never wore 28.
Oh, yeah, I did. High school. It's 28.
You mean you were 28 years old in high school?
Yeah. Listen, you haven't even taken ice training or timing training. You've taken ice training.
This is fun. As always, Stonecast. For those of you guys, do we have anybody watching anymore? Or should we just...
Oh, yeah, we have 62 viewers.
62. For you guys out in California that may or may not know that are watching this, you guys have been stellar tonight, but giving us great information about your young curlers here. But Stonecast is something that Christopher Lindsay, my partner here,
Listening,
sorry,
right.
started. And if you
with Jordan Wickland.
Why don't you tell them about it, because they can go and hear all the interviews that you've done. Probably 20 of them by now.
Yeah, we've done 18. Stonecast.rocks. In fact, if you go there now, we're showing this stream.
It's Stonecast.rocks.
Yeah, and I noticed I was watching the European Championship web stream, and they had a deal about Hollywood. You know, how they're going to do like the men's championship in Hollywood, and they got the Continental Cup, and that's Hollywood.rocks. So I was thinking Stonecast.rocks. I'm a little ahead of the game.
Wow, God, it's amazing.
It's fun.
It is fun, and I've listened to a number of your interviews, and they have just been nothing but entertaining and super fun, and obviously from a lot of folks around this Twin Cities area where curling is just absolutely exploding.
It is.
A lot of wonderful, wonderful things happening around this area between now 5 dedicated curling clubs and some great organization among those 5 clubs with the help of the Twin Cities Curling Association and those folks, as well as everybody's just want to keep continuing to grow the game in and around this area and around the state and the upper Midwest. So
it is pretty interesting that interviewing people from all these different curling areas, that there are definitely, there's a competitive nature about, like, everybody wants to grow curling, but they also want to grow it in their way. So there's it's interesting, the competitive dynamics, Chaska opens up, tremendously successful, people are really proud of it, but at the same time there's some feeling like, oh, well, they had such explosive growth, and I think it's pretty interesting just hearing all those little nuances of people's emotion about new and change.
Sure. Well, it's nothing but positive, to be honest with you, because how could you not think anything but positive things about such tremendous growth of the game in and around the area, and basically, really across the United States, but obviously very apparent here.
Yeah,
in
it's
the Twin
incredible.
Cities.
Yeah. And I think in areas in Canada, I think it's shrinking.
Yeah, it can be. They're having some ebb and flow to their memberships up there,
But it's probably kind of like just like the craft beer movement here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They explode, real popular. We get all these craft breweries, and then eventually a couple of them have to fold, which is happening. So in Canada, you have 20, 30 clubs or whatever. Maybe that's too many. It's going to go down to 25.
well, yeah. Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen. I saw that with golf in the United States, where it was tremendously popular back in the 90s, and they built a ton of golf courses, and kind of struggled with that.
Oh, is that
more
true?
As of late.
I'm not a golfer, and I don't really watch golf, but I just would assume that golf was still pretty popular. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, always
Kind
gotta
of draw behind there. Looks like he's got to get it into the...
Sit in that back area and sit one, and I do believe they are sitting one. Fine shot. Was that Mark? That was Mark once again. That young man has made a number of great shots along with Zevi. His front end doing as best they can, and those guys are keeping them in this game and keeping somewhat of the pressure on the Josh Moore rink. Could be an interesting end. And
So
how
we
this
got a
finishes.
little feedback here from Joel Calhoun. It says, tell the Overflow Chaska members about the weather in Southern California. Then maybe we can build something there.
Well, I was
Stonecastle will buy a rock there if it helps you build your club.
I was talking to someone from Orange County that was playing in the Fireball 500 here, not this past Thanksgiving weekend, but of 15, would have been 2015, and that there was possibly going to be a 4-sheet rink built out there next to the Mighty Ducks' new facility. So I'm not sure if that's come to fruition or still in the works, but that'd be fantastic if it could happen. Here comes Josh's rock, and they're a bit tight. They're really sweeping hard to hold it out there, which he's done a fine job of. And he has come right down on top of Mark's rock for a fine shot. And
Good example of good communication between the thrower and the sweeper. Like I noticed his rocks, his draws are different, like than the Altus draws because of the sweep. They're straighter.
well, they're able to hold him out there
Yeah.
a little bit better. Yeah, those guys are. I think they're a bit stronger, perhaps. The more lead in second and doing a fine job of sweeping. And you're right. That was a classic example of it, where it looks like it's going to perhaps tick or crash on the guard, and they've been able to hold it around that guard each and every time. That was a very, very fine shot by Josh.
And they got the call out early enough. Sometimes you see that happening and you get it too late. It's like, well, it's too late.
That's right, and you do see that out of newer curlers is they don't call the sweep until it's started to curl, and when it's started to curl, it's a little bit too late at that point to hold it out. So you need to anticipate when that curl is going to happen and get on it just prior to that. And here is Zevi's rock. Hang in there. Oh, that's
Ooh,
close.
That's close, yeah.
Very close. Nice shot by Zevi. He's sitting kind of open, but if Josh is wide at all, he's going to jam this rock. But I'm not sure who's sitting shot. Can you tell? Can you get that technical guy over here? What's his?
Can you remove the curler from the screen so we could see a clear view of the rock? I think I can blow up his microphone pack. It looks to me, I can't. It's a bad angle, though.
Is that Adam?
It is Adam.
Adam?
It's Evil Knievel.
Adam Height was part of a very interesting occurrence here at the St. Paul Curling Club not long ago when you guys were setting up the web stream for the cash spiel.
We don't need to go there.
We don't. If John Solom is listening and watching it all and he wants to chime in, he could. Tell us what happened that night. Zevi's rock I'm sorry, Josh Moore's last rock coming down the ice as we speak. He's throwing about, what do you think, hack weight? Sweepers
Looks a little lighter than that to me.
Sweepers are calling for it to be a little bit heavier than that. And they're sweeping it to curl more. Here it comes, and he is just a tad bit wide, but fine shot to sit two. Actually, very nice shot. Tapped him back just behind the 4 foot. Zevy's going to have to come down onto the rock that Josh just threw with very fine weight and try to tap that on the inside of it and just get more of the 4 foot. And once again for 1 point.
Could he get both of those out? Because if he got both of those out, he'd be sitting too, even if he burned his shooter.
Well, you're right. Yeah, he could possibly get both of those out. He'd have to come over the top of both of his red ones.
It'd move that back red one then, and that would probably move out.
Yeah. What if he came? Yeah, that's a tough shot. Be very tough to get both of them out without jamming the first one that's sitting on the tee line.
Oh, yeah, where would it
into
go,
the
right?
back line.
There's no
Yeah.
place for it to go.
It'd be very, very tough. He'd have to throw tremendous weight at it. And then I'm not even sure if he's sitting third or not. And he came right out of the hack. No hesitation. Here we go. They're sweeping a rock, pounding it down. It's curling
Get it by,
hard
get it by,
and
get it
trying
by.
to get it by. And
Tick.
unfortunately, it ticked, crashed on the guard, and it's going to leave 2 for the Moore rink to once again keep further control of the game. It's now 8-2 after 7. And I think Zevy's looking at his guys and deciding whether to shake or play one more end. Probably would behoove them to play one more end, get him back down to the home end, get a little more time on this fine ice and get used to it for the rest of the weekend. What do we got for going?
Look what's happened on sheet 2.
It is now a tie game.
Tie game.
Boy, that was a 7-1 game after 5.
Yep.
And
Gave up.
now, after 7, it is a 7-7 game. I'm not sure what happened with the Norman Dew rink, if they flashed some hits and allowed this to is that the Perry rink that they're playing?
Yep.
Page. Allow them to get back in the game. There comes Anya with her first skips rock, playing the 8th end. They are sitting 1, and she is coming down into the house, trying to, well, she's kind of squeezed through, but she's not a bad shot.
Yeah,
just fine.
They've got a lot of stuff up front there.
They do. Paige is going to try and run one back on their rock in the 4 foot. If she's successful and stays, she could be sitting 3. Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. This is getting interesting on sheet 2. As is the Packer Viking game on sheet 8. Here comes Bemidji team in full control. Piling another one into the 4 foot. Throwing the out turn going away along sheet 8. Boy, did that used to be a tricky spot back in the day.
Used to be?
Oh, my goodness. Now it's curling in there very nicely. I think the skips are all trusting their brooms very well.
Paige's shot is coming down.
Page
She tapped hers
shot.
in, but through, it looks like. Oh, tapped hers.
She came a little wide and left Norman Dew with 1 and a possible easy open draw on the intern side for 2. And that is what Sydney Warch will hold. right out near the outside edge of the 12 for Anya to throw her last. And the hammer for 2 to get back in control of this game. It's a shootout.
Yes. Boy, losing that lead can really bring a team down. So it takes a lot of fortitude, I think, to keep your wits.
Have you had that happen before?
I've never had it happen where I lost. I've always maintained. No, I've had it happen many times.
Okay.
But I've curled less than you, so I've probably had it happen less to me.
Probably,
Looks
yes.
a little hot. I might come in and tap it.
Yes, coming in. Oh, she's got plenty of weight here. She needs to get on her. And she did. It worked out just fine. 2 for Team Normandu, the local St. Paul club. Good for those girls. They are now up 9-7 after 8. 2 to play. And that's going to come right down to it, I guess.
Yeah. Sheet 3, Bear Trexler is 5-4. Sheet 4 is Quello running, and that looks like running is up 4 to 2. It looks like they blanked the 6th. Sheet 5, which is what we've been not calling the last 5 minutes because we're watching on sheet 2. That's fine. Sheet 6 is Slusar and Stapera. Looks like Slusar just got 2 extra points, or 2 points, so they're up 5-3. Sheet 7 was already Clausen already won, and the Packers versus the Bears. Fenson versus Thompson. Fenson has 7, and Thompson has 3. All right. What's going on here on sheet 5?
Well,
looks like the same.
They're throwing guards up,
yeah,
as they should, the Altus rink, and as the Moore rink should. They are just peeling those guards every chance they get. Here comes another, and they're sitting 2 with one on the top of the button, one in the full 12. They're in great shape, the Moore rink. Just continue to peel, and I gotta believe this could be the last end if they execute their peels and their shots and force fine shot. Force the Altus rink to 1 or perhaps steal 1 more. We'll see.
You know, Scott, I have to tell you something. Watching you hold that microphone, leaning over the table, looking at the home rink here, or
like this?
It looks really good. Yeah,
like this.
You look like a natural. The way you hold on to that. No, I'm not looking like that. No, it was more the way your arm kind of curled like that.
Yeah,
I can tell you've done it before.
Stood over a table with a microphone in my hand.
Exactly.
What do you got? What's the call here, buddy?
Well, read through it. It kind of seems like these ends are being very repetitive.
That's kind of what curling is, to be very honest with you. Very repetitive, especially at the higher levels. It, quite frankly, can get a little difficult to watch after a while.
Yeah. If you don't have skin in the game, it's
yeah, this is true.
All right, so we're going to peel out the other red guard.
I like to say it's somewhat similar to an NBA game. You're really in a high competitive curling game. Sometimes you only got to watch the last 5 or 10 minutes and see what really happens. Usually things get set up well by everybody, and then someone makes some kind of run back or double, and it's usually the third or skip that pulls that off, and then 1 or 2 points happens.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Dex, and he was saying how he gets irritated when he watches curling because they keep track of all these stats. You know, how many shots you've made and this and that. And he goes, it doesn't make any difference, all those stats. He said it really is like it's the skip's last rock. They make that shot, that controls the whole game.
Right.
So if you missed every first shot, makes your second shot harder.
And that's kind of why they're talking about that 5 rock rule now versus the free guard zone where there's the 4. It's now the 5 rock rule is to get more rocks in play. But I tell you, when I was at the Canada Cup, one of the most amazing things I watched was the amount of runbacks that were executed perfectly. It was just incredible how they could run a rock from 10 feet, 15 feet out to the position they wanted it, or removing the opponent's stone, or just getting it, a raise into the button.
So Moore's going to take out the other red. So Moore's sitting 3.
It's that's kind of what the game is evolving to. And
how do you think they got so good at those runbacks?
Practice.
Is it practice or a lot of games, or both?
Well, both. But
probably practice.
Practice, and practicing on consistent ice is key, because you got to build that confidence somehow or another. And unfortunately, ice is not like a gym floor where you sand it down and polish it once a year, and it's good for everybody to go on and consistent. It changes hour by hour and day by day.
Nice draw if it sticks.
Mark was very, very close.
Oof.
About 6 inches off is all. Nice draw. It's going to allow.
Yeah, just follow that back and sit on it.
More to follow it back and sit right on it. Yeah.
He's calling for it to be up in the top of the
Well, thank you,
4 foot.
Mr. Clausen.
Oh, apple juice? Thank you, sir.
You okay? Got everything you need? Done.
We have some fans behind us here, Mr. and Mrs. Scott and Linda Clausen. Their son Jack and Sam were victorious tonight to go 1-1, which is good to see. They're a local rink.
Supported by Terrapin Curling.
Ooh, very nice. Yes.
As is the other St. Paul
and
rink out there.
Rink Tech.
Are they supported by Rink Tech?
Rink Tech has come forward with a lot of wonderful sponsorships here at the St. Paul Curling Club, not only for
Are they local?
junior curlers, but for the Men's International Bonspiel, which will be the end of February. And if you folks don't know about this, it's pretty something special. The Men's International here at the St. Paul Curling Club at the end of February is now worth $5,000 to the winning team and $1,000 to the runner-up. And I think they still do have some open spots. So come on down and play for some big money if you think you got what it takes.
I was getting text message from the home front.
Got
Got it all figured out. I don't have to bring my daughter to any place special tomorrow. She's having a sleepover, so I can come right here at 9, bright and early.
You're going to be hoarse by the time the weekend's over.
Yeah. It's better than being an ass.
Cheers. Oh, once again, you're too quick for me.
Cheers.
Zevy's first rock.
Oh, it's moving over.
Intern, it really curls on his intern there, and the boys just aren't catching it soon enough to hold it out. It was good weight. That probably would have snuck into that 4-foot area had they got on it early enough. The young lads on his front end, Ozzy and Jimmy, have got to be able to call that weight sooner and get on it quicker.
It's interesting when you get to the an end like this where the one team is just trying to scrap out a couple points, taking a couple risky shots, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
The other team that's way ahead piles up the points. It's like
very much what happens.
a lot of yellow in there.
Yeah. Well, you have to make that perfect shot, and if you don't, they can run you out. Makes things difficult.
He's going to put a guard up. That's what I think is what he's calling. So it still leaves that draw in. It's a tough draw, but it's probably there, I would think.
He's either guarding or he might be playing a tap on his
Oh, tap
number
would be,
1 yellow rock that's sitting
yeah,
up there in the
tap
full
would be
12.
a good shot.
And by the looks of his weight coming out of the hack, I think that might be the call. Sweepers are staying off of it, and it looks like it's got plenty of weight to move one of those 2 rocks into the 4 foot anyway. And here it comes hard. Oh, boy.
I'm not
it's
even looking
really
at it. I'm
finishing
pretty
hard.
sure you're not right. Well, I mean, that didn't have enough force.
Well, it did have enough force. It just kind of lost handle and perhaps picked something and it really curled hard at the end. It looked like a nice shot to start with. And I think I was right. And I'm not sure I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Are you saying that you wanted it? You wanted him to hit that red rock up? So now they could hit and roll in, right?
No, I wanted. He was calling for.
I know what you said.
Then why did you ask?
I was kind of because I'm a disturber.
Obviously, you are.
Ever heard that song? Who is your fire starter? Who is your fire starter? I am your fire starter.
I haven't heard that song before.
Well, you still haven't.
We built a nice rock runner at the Chaska Curling Club the last couple weeks.
Look at this shot. So they're gonna try to tap that, try to hit that yellow out.
Well, he's on the guards, so unfortunately Zevy's a little narrow once again, and he's racking into some yellow rocks, and that should be it, folks. I think they're going to shake hands. Yes, they do. It was a hard-fought battle, and I tell you what, those young men from the Bay Area are going to be darn good curlers with a little bit more experience, and that's all they really need. They were in this game into the 6th end when Zevy made a very gutsy call to come under a guard and unfortunately just barely missed it and allowed 2 to the Moore rink in the 6th to take a 4-point lead, and that pretty much spelled the end of things for them. But
their team did kind of do a clinic though on draw
weight. Yes,
yeah,
they kept the pressure on end after end after end, and I highly expect to see that Moore rink as one of the 4 teams advancing to
so
junior nationals.
they're 1-on-1. It looks like Stapera. So on sheet 6, it looks like
Stapera go down.
Yeah, they went down to. No, Stapera won.
Okay.
So Stapera beat Sluicer. So Stapera, I think, is 2-0 or 2-0. Clausen is 1-1. I don't know what Perry is. What's going on in Green Bay?
That game is over as well.
That's over.
I think the Bemidji boys did a fine job of taking care of business and beating the Green Bay Packers, which is always a good thing here in Minnesota.
Yep. You could lose every game except for that one. What's going on in sheet 2?
They pretty much do. For 40 years.
You know how you were threatening to not come back tomorrow? I might not want you back.
Well, I'm a Lions fan, actually.
I know.
Yeah,
they're struggling.
Well, they are struggling now. And they got one more game to go to see what happens. But anyway, we're not talking football. What are we talking?
Curling.
We're talking curling, and sheet 2 is a barn burner. And we have a local team, and Anya Norman-Dew and her 3rd, Sydney Warch, up 2, playing the 9th, 9-7 in this game. And I unfortunately can't really tell who is sitting 1, but I do believe it's the Yellow Rocks, which would be
The one that's at the top of the house?
Norman-Dew, correct. And the Page rink is drawing in, and they're going to make a nice little wick and roll under for a fine shot into the top 4. And Red ends up with 1 under pressure. Nice shot. So playing the 10th, Anya Norman-Dew rink, the local girls from St. Paul will be up 1 with the hammer playing the 10th. Should be an exciting finish.
So sheet 3, we have Bear Traxler, and Bear is up. 7-4. And on sheet 4, that game's still going. Quello running, and running is up 5-2. And all the other games are completed.
All the
So
other games are
we just need to get somebody to go down there and move the camera so that we can look at 2, 3, and 4, and we'll be Jim Dandy.
Can someone really do that?
Yep. Adam's going to go down there right now.
Is that guy that's been sitting next to us the whole time?
Yep.
What was his name?
Adam, first thing he's going to do here is...
God, look at him. He just chop. He ran right down there.
Yeah.
Is anybody still watching?
You know what that's called? That's called management. Executive management. 35 viewers right now. 34 after that. That's all the employees that are left at Terrapin.
So really nobody's watching.
I just set up a bunch of computers there to randomly watch because I want people to think we're doing a good job.
Hey, we are doing a good job, and you're doing an outstanding job. And all your efforts that you've been putting forth down here have been fantastic, buddy.
Well, I'm having fun. That's what it's about.
That is what it's about. That's what curling in the Twin Cities is about. And if you're not in the big spiel, anybody of you 30, how many now? 30, 24,
31,
32. If you're not in the big spiel and you don't know about the big spiel is a fantastic event that occurs usually the second weekend in January every year here in the Twin Cities. You get the chance to play at all 4 clubs in one bonspiel, and there's 10 events. 10 events. So it doesn't really matter your level of play. You're going to fit in to one of those events, and you're going to play a bunch of games, and you're going to be able to see the St. Paul Club, the Four Seasons Club, the Frogtown Club, and last but not least, the Chaska Curling Center, which is the newest and most beautiful place you could ever want to curl in.
It is beautiful. It's a lot of wood ceiling. I love the ceiling.
It's a fantastic curling facility, and everybody comes and has a great time. And there's curlers from, California and the Bay Area. There's curlers from Texas. There's curlers from New York. There's curlers from all over the country that come for that. Usually somewhere around 90 to 100 teams. And if you're not in it, you should be, and you've still got a little bit of time to sign up. I think it's January 12th or
Is their website
12th.
tcca.org?
I think you could get on it there. There's a Facebook site for it.
Yeah.
All kinds of ways to find out information. So do it because you'll love it. It's
Yeah, I
absolute
heard
blast.
now. I know some people when they bonspiel, they're more into it for the social aspect, and I've heard that if you are, kind of a, social curler, party curler or whatever, that it's really good if you have a draw in Chaska to find somebody on your team that isn't a party curler who can drive you there, because it's a little bit of a hike.
Well, as Four Seasons is as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's.
But
a
I mean, to
little bit
get
of-
around the clubs, because we're not like located in, we're not like a 10-block mega curling mecca. We're,
Oh right, right.
we're like suburbia here.
Well, you got to do a little travel, but the games are set up so you have at least 3 hours or so between your draws to easily get, because it's no more than a 40-minute drive. Even in a little bit of traffic, it's no more than a 40-minute drive.
What
to
about
get
a
to-
normal amount of traffic?
You really are difficult today.
Well, I'm just gotta take it to you. The good news is I'm moving one of our data centers to Chaska.
Really?
Yeah, we're moving into. There's a place out there called Via West. It's a
I-
relatively new data center.
I heard about this.
Yeah, so I will be out there auditing the facility,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so
And
then I'll
bothering me.
visit. I'll visit you. Yeah.
Bothering me all the time. Well, that's fantastic. You'll be a big sponsor of our.
I can't sponsor your city. Cities don't take sponsorship.
Oh,
They could
but-
call that taxes. I don't live there.
But our curlers could use sponsorship.
Oh,
We've adopted the Jessica Schultz rink as our Olympic hopefuls for 2018 out of the
Oh.
Chaska Curling Center.
I have sponsored hers.
Mhm.
Although I
As
did it anonymously, which is, I don't mean to say that, but I saw her at some thing and she was showing off her jacket that had like all the names of the sponsors, and I was like, well, now I wouldn't have done it if I could have had a name on your jacket.
Well, maybe you were just anonymous on I
Yeah,
thought
she
I
didn't.
saw that
Yeah,
on
she
the
lifted
chart.
up. It was in her armpit.
It was in her armpit. It said anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Okay, so sheet 2. Did he move the camera? He hasn't got it, or did he? No, he hasn't got it over there yet. But
Far.
that game is really heating up, and it's a 1-point game with the local girls with hammer, throwing yellow rocks, and Anna Netteberg is coming out with seconds rocks here, looking to move some granite around. There's a lot of guards up in the center of the house. Oh, she kind of ticked. Oh boy, did
Oh.
she just ticked
Yeah.
her. Just barely ticked it. So as the house sits right now, that page rink is looking for a steal. They've got 3 or 4 guards up around the center line, and if they get one buried here, it could be very difficult for that Normandy rink to end up scoring one. But Page is calling for one in the top 12. Out of
The
her.
peanut gallery is giving me advice about when Adam left. I'm supposed to be in charge of the cameras, which is true. I am kind of, management does step in, cover for people, but there weren't good policies.
So this didn't really happen. The technical guy that I can't ever remember his name, the guy just didn't get it done, or what?
Right.
Well, we could just call him Dum Dum for the rest of the weekend. We should really let him say something, and we won't call him that. Actually, he's he's done a fine job. I'm sorry you couldn't move the camera, buddy.
I wish we could give our users the ability to switch the cameras back and forth.
Right. Ooh. Where did that voice come from? Okay, so we're into thirds rocks, I do believe, on sheet 2, which would be Sydney Warch's first, and I think if she's smart,
Looks like she's
coming down under and let it come on, baby, curl in there, and she's got wonderful weight right to the button, and very near the tee line. Fine shot by that young lady. Kudos to her. That's a key shot in a key spot. And now the pressure flips over to the Page rink because they are going to try and throw board to hack to board weight and move that rock out of there. But I can't see a way they can bury even doing that. Here it comes. It might be a little tight, and it is. It's all over the guards. And the good thing about it is they did open up half of that rock or more.
Yeah, they removed a number of those guards.
And Anya is calling for a guard up on that center line. The best thing that could happen would be full 12 here on the center line for that Normandy ring. And without any hesitation,
Oof, almost had it double there.
here comes Sydney Warch with her last rock as a third. Looks a little tight, and the gals are sweeping it furiously.
Yeah, it looks a little light. I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't think it's light. I think they've held it out there nice. They're looking for a guard, and they've executed it. Nice shot. Very nice shot. She's still looking to get into that rock, the Page rink, and there's possibility that she can come through that port. It's hard to see because we're on that funky angle right here, right? You
Yep.
can't really see how much space is actually available, as well as they can, obviously.
When they do the Stonecast.rocks press booth, we're thinking it's just going to hang it outside. It'll be a little lower, and we'll be able to see everything.
Perfect. What do you think, Mrs. Clausen? Mrs. Clausen is intently watching this game over here, and she's trying to flip us on the monitor above our heads what is going to happen here. And even then, it's tough to see. But here comes the Page
Sheet
first skips rock. Oh, and she did hit the guard that the Normandy rink placed, that Sydney Orchard placed. They're in good shape to put one more right up there, but coming into the house would not be a bad situation either, half 12 or full 12, but definitely not too much more than that. So the miss would definitely be above the house.
Sheet 4 is kind of shaping up to be a tight one. The running is up by 2. Quello is in the house right now. I mean, they've got one red in.
Sure.
In the ninth end.
That running rink, I expect to get into the Nationals as well. They have played together for quite some time. They're out of the Mankato Curling Club, and despite not having ice there for a couple years, they do now have ice once again. Congratulations to that crew of folks for their perseverance and stick-to-itiveness for finding the funds necessary to improve their ice plant and make things work. And those girls, bless them, have stayed with it and are continuing to curl competitively. Oh, and there you go. Anya's first skip rock was right to the top 4. That's not a bad position to be, because if the double's not made here, she doesn't have to throw her last. If the double is made, she has her draw weight down because she just threw it, and should hopefully execute the shot for the win, and they could be 2-0. Mr. Height, Mr. Adam Height, are you there? Can you put up the standings on the thing for the last 4 people leave us that are still watching, and we can update them on win-losses? Maybe slow down the switching screen. It switches like every... Can't slow it.
Yeah, give me 1 minute.
He's going to work on it.
It's
also, it gets confusing because there's some people that don't have their games ended.
That's true.
And I don't have that kind of math skills to say, okay, well,
you have
1 + 1
Fitbit skill, or what was it?
Bitcoin
skills.
Yeah, did you?
Oh, Miss Running was very close to a double there. Just off. Throwing yellow rocks. They still are in control of this game.
Pretty exciting curling, Ace.
Absolutely. Here comes the Page final rock, looking to make a double and possibly tuck under a guard. This has got to be tough. It's a tough shot, and she's on it. Oh, but she jams and leaves one to the Normandy rink for the victory, and they're shaking hands on sheet 2. Well played game by both rinks, and well fought game by the Page rink to come back from a pretty serious deficit to really make that a close and interesting game. Leaves the Normandy rink 2-0. And the Page rink now either women's. Page now unfortunately 0-2. So that's how those rinks fare right now. Obviously we can update you more in the morning when everybody's head is a little clear.
My head's pretty clear.
Is it?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Mine is as well.
Excellent.
A lot of games to kind of finish up here and scoreboards to be cleared.
Men seem to be updated.
Yeah, so Fenson and Stapera 2-0, and Clausen and Moore are 1-1, as is Slusar and Thompson. So 4-way tie for third, and Altus and Perry are 0-2.
Could be a tiebreaker situation by the end of the weekend. You never know.
Yeah, there's a lot of games left.
There's a lot of games left.
And
thank you for that, technical guy. You're doing a fantastic job.
yeah, what is this program? It looks like almost like, is it a spreadsheet?
Looks like Excel.
Yeah.
They're running it downstairs.
There's 2 more games on the ice. Are we going to stick this out? Is anybody watching?
Yeah, we have 24, 25. In fact,
24,
yeah,
25.
I think some people are very interested in
How these
4.
2 games end?
Yeah.
In 4? Well, chime in and let us know if you're interested. We'll keep you shot by shot into this game. Oh, I think we just got a steal out of the Red Rocks to finish the 9th end. Yes, we did. 1-point game on sheet 4, 5-4, going into the 10th end. The running team has the lead and the hammer. They're high-fiving near the hog line, despite giving up that
They got 2.
2-point steal. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a tie game going into the 10th. But they do have hammer.
Look what's going on sheet 3. That's tied up too.
7-7 on sheet 3.
Bear, Trexler. Yeah, last 2 games are exciting.
Are you? You're right behind me. What are you doing? Are you?
What?
What are you? Wait a minute! Don't do that.
Are you not thinking this is exciting or what?
Stop it.
You just see that Quello rink, they all jumped together.
Do they?
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
Like that when you jump up and do the chest
Yeah.
bump?
No, like you do the shoulder.
The shoulder bump like the NHL or the NFL guys do?
You know Evan Jensen?
I do know Evan Jensen.
So he's on
Fine young man.
he's on my Tuesday team.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is he Skip?
no, I'm Skip.
What?
I'm turning your mic off. No. Who do you think's a better sweeper, me or Evan?
Depending on it's Tuesday night,
Yeah.
and at what time?
9. Listen,
Is it the outturn or the intern that you're sweeping?
doesn't matter. Sweep anything.
Well, you're skipping, so apparently Evan is the better sweeper.
Yeah. Anyways, so we did this thing where, he's all about, I think these junior curlers, they teach them, good sportsmanship. Come down, great shot, And if you grew up in a sarcastic family and took up curling late in life, you tend to have a sarcastic bent. So he's taught me a lot about positivity. So we started doing this thing where when we made a good shot, we would jump up in the air, hit each other's shoulders, like the young guys do. So one time he comes down, I'm standing in the house, I have my gripper off, so my slider's on the ice.
Yeah.
He comes down, I'm not paying attention to what he's doing. He comes up and does that to me, and I go flying across the ice. So we stopped doing that.
You didn't hurt yourself?
Oh, no, I've got impeccable balance.
You didn't dislocate a shoulder?
I think he probably got hurt.
Probably. I mean, you're kind
movable.
of stumpy.
Stumpy. Stout. They call that stout.
Oh, I'm sorry, stout. Okay.
All right. Courtney is still watching. She's into it. And
Who's Courtney?
Courtney Irene.
Courtney Irene.
Good night,
Thanks, Courtney.
Irene.
You
Good
rock.
night, Irene. Good night, Irene.
There's some good finishes. So one time, speaking of ice injuries, I was probably 10 years ago. I had my auto mechanic, Tak. He's from China, and he came and he realized I was a curler and he wanted to curl. And there's action going on. But he came down, his first game, I got him in the league, he was playing lead. His first time he swept a rock, he threw his first lead rocks, and then he came down sweeping the second rocks. He slipped, actually broke his collarbone, and that was it. Never curled again. 2 ends, done.
Do you still work on your car?
No, actually not even 2 ends. 1 end, 3 rocks, done. No, he doesn't work on my car.
Who was the
anymore,
skip on that rink?
I was.
Good job.
Still have Steve with us as well. Cheer for Bear.
Oh.
Everybody's pointing to the red
Steve.
rock.
Steve is cheering for Bear with the big earrings.
Bear was on sheet 2.
Yep. No, that was Paige.
Oh, I'm
Bear's
sorry.
on sheet 3.
I'm sorry. Thank you. You're right.
You're welcome, Scott.
And that was a fine move over the rock.
I'll just speak in mind here.
Boy, these gals are calling a quick game. Yes.
Can you hear me?
No. Is that Adam Height is trying to say something?
He won't give me the cable.
Oh. Would you like to talk into my microphone?
Take it off.
This is yellow rock. This is the Bear rock, correct?
Well, Bear's on sheet 3, but
Right.
Bear's red, I think. Bear's red.
Okay. So, the Traxler team her third just threw a fantastic draw. Top 4, but unfortunately not under a guard. But putting pressure on nonetheless.
Wow, that was a nice double. I think Bear's sitting 5.
I believe you're right. If they are throwing red rocks, they are sitting a whole pile, but there is opportunity because the more rocks they have in the house, the more rocks there are to hide under. And sometimes that's not what you want. There's another saying in curling that says, greed will get you the hammer. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand what that means. You want me to explain it, I guess. Eh? You want to prove it. Ooh. Yep. So running gets a double.
Fine shot.
So I suppose Quello will probably put up another guard. Or draw behind, I guess.
Can the audience see? They can kind of see what's going on here. That's kind of tough, but set up a guard rock. For boy, I'm having a tough time here. Traxler.
From Alaska, Fairbanks.
Thank you.
North to
Actually,
Alaska.
that's not a bad shot. She's doesn't have much choice, but although she doesn't have hammer, so kind of tough. But if she gets a jam here, she has a fighting chance. That's all I'm saying. Sheet 4 between Quello and running. Running, throwing yellow rocks. Needs to remove this red Quello rock, and she is definitely a little tight, but they are sweeping it out on that one side, and they seem to be holding it very well.
Yeah, it's kind of hanging out there.
Well, they get on that so quick. They understand that sweeping technique now, and then they get off it, and the other one goes, and boom. Great shot. And they stay in the house.
Yeah, that's
Fine shot.
Ooh, Trexler's last shot. Getting queued up.
Right. She has got to make the perfect draw here under her guard that they apparently left and get full 4 And it is there to make. There's no question about that. And this is why you skip. You skip to draw the button and really put the pressure on.
I wonder which one's closer on the Quello rink.
Here it comes from the lefty. Sweepers are calling him off as if it's heavy. They're holding it out. Make sure it's around the guard, and then they're going to have to get off it, which they did. And she's going to be real close if it grinds down into that sliding path. Oh, and they sweep it out. Back four. Game over. Fine shot in the end by Traxler, but unfortunately just about a foot heavy. And the Bear Rink's victorious, correct?
Yep.
Wow, that was an excellent effort.
So I think Bear goes to 2-0 and Trexler goes to 0-2. I think.
Well, I know someone that wouldn't be too happy about that, and that would be Jessica Schultz. She's from Fairbanks. And
they should challenge them to a fishing competition. I bet you that Alaska would dominate at that.
Salmon?
Yeah. Or what are those big flounders? Don't they catch flounder up there?
Or saltwater sturgeon, great big white sturgeon.
I never knew such a thing existed. I want to catch one now.
They're huge.
All right. So sheet 4, it's the last 5 rocks left.
Might seem like forever. Oh, sorry about that.
It isn't for the people that are paying attention to this game.
It's a fine draw into the
Yeah, it's a little out there, though.
Sit.
So running is yellow. Quello is red.
Oh, we're down to Skip's Rocks. Right now, Quello looking to steal and win the game. The running rink sitting 1 and 2. A little hack weight bump here by the Quello rink is going to go a long way if she can execute the shot. Intern coming home. Here she comes. Skips first. Red rock coming down the ice from Miss Quello. They're holding it out. They're on and off. They're on it. They're off it. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. They're trying to draw it in there. Here it comes. It's going to be very close. She's on the yellow rock for sure, but definitely rolling a little bit too wide. Still sitting shot rock, which is what she needs to do.
I think she's sitting 2, aren't? That top red might be.
Yeah, that could be. I think 1.
All right, they're sitting 1.
I owe you
1 and 3.
I owe you $5 we could bet on. Height once part of that deal?
There. I thought about that actually. Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Running, the Mankato Curlers. She's coming out with her first yellow rock, and basically just looking to make
a nice draw.
Nice draw under and leave them there. So she is confident in her draw weight with hammer to get it down now. And it needs to come in there a little bit more. She's got the right weight, but it is sitting out there and available for a hit and tuck under with the last for Quello. They're talking about it. This Quello rink calls it timeout. The girls from
we're going to talk.
Are they from Bemidji too? It looks like they're from Bemidji.
It just says Minnesota. Quello says Minnesota.
No, it says, I think it says Bemidji on it.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that in the official sheet I have,
just
Minnesota.
Okay.
But I did notice Bemidji. Did you know that the Bemidji? I think Bemidji State has a one of their sports is bass fishing.
Why wouldn't there be that sport?
Isn't that incredible?
Well, that I think the University of Minnesota has a bass fishing team.
Does it?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think the University of St. Paul Curling Club should have a bass fishing team.
Yeah, we should get a boat.
I got a boat. You got a boat.
Let's go catch some fish. Well, I don't have a bass boat.
Well, when we do the Stonecast interview this spring, while fishing,
I thought that was going to be the Ice Master Classic up on Rainy Lake. I already reserved. I already told my dad. I said we're doing a long weekend up here after the ice goes out in St. Paul.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You want to come?
Can I? Of course. Everyone wants to play.
There's still the timeout, and the teams are talking with Coach
What advice would you give?
Twin City. He's got his Twins hat on. I'm not sure who that guy is that coaches those young ladies, but he's giving them some solid advice right now. My advice to these young Bemidji girls that are high-fiving and they're throwing their last rock, needing to steal, is
Quello's Kent Bar.
They've got plenty of guards up front, so pretty easy decision. You draw down to the top of the 4 foot, hopefully, and really put the pressure on the running rink's last rock. So they're trying to decide on where to put that broom. They're giggling and laughing a lot, which girls do a lot when they are nervous. And we're going to see how this shot goes. Definitely the right call, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. It maybe get it in front of obviously in front of the tee line. Get it under.
You got to be shot though, right?
Yeah. Well, you just got to get on the get to the blue. You know what Dex says? If you can't draw to the 4 foot, you shouldn't be skipped.
That's right. That's exactly what he said that for 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting talking to Dex because he remembers when the free guard zone went in. He remembers when the you can't slide past to the hog line rule goes in.
Yeah. You know the amazing thing about Dexter?
What?
Is he remembers everything, but he never remembers that he's told you those stories 10 or 15 times.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. I've already heard that one.
Here comes the rock, and unfortunately, it looks very heavy.
Oh, except they're going to tap the yellow.
The young lady is burying her head in her hands. She knows it's heavy, and that is the result. Running does not have to throw her last. The win for the running rink.
Yep.
Congratulations to them.
So on the women's side, so the Bear Normandu, Padel and Running are all going to be 2-0, and Kitchens, Page, Quello, and Trex are all 0-2.
That would be Page. Not Page.
Is it Page?
Only if we're in.
Now 5 teams.
Only if we're in Ontario.
5 teams from the women go. So.
Okay. All right. Well, fantastic. Hey, as always.
Hey, it's been a wild time.
You, sir, are the greatest.
Oh, you're pretty good
to ever call a game with.
Oh yeah.
And this technical guy over here, he's a pretty good guy too.
All right. Well,
what was his name again?
Adam.
Dummy.
Yeah. So we're going to sign off. So good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Let's see who will be at 9 a.m. It's going to be Normandu versus Bear, 2-0 teams, and Dex will be on the mic with me.
Oh, perfect. You guys will have a blast.
Yeah, it should be.
Don't let him start drinking rum though.
Yeah. Well, 9 o'clock. We're okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you once again. It's been great. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.